good evening. My name is Richard. It's Matchday Live. Of course, it's the big one tonight, isn't it? Arsenal against Manchester City, the leaders against the league champions. A win for Manchester City would put them top of the table, whereas a victory for Arsenal would put us in a very, very good position, wouldn't it? 6 points clear with a game in hand. It is all going to be very, very tense, very exciting. I'm sure you'll agree. It's all coming up the other side of this.
Real Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seems it.
So it's the big one, isn't it? I say Arsenal versus Manchester City from the Emirates Stadium. The winners tonight are going to be the new favourites, aren't they, to win the title? It is going to be a very difficult game, of course, for Arsenal. We know that. But we have got your team news in for you for this game, which kicks off in just over 10 minutes' time. These are how the teams line up then for Arsenal. There is two changes, one enforced and one tactical. So it's Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Tomiyasu comes in at right back. Not unexpected. Ben White's been struggling a bit, hasn't he, lately? So he is in at right back. William Saliba and Gabriel, of course, the two centre-backs, and Alexander Zinchenko keeps his place at left-back. In midfield, the big news, of course, Thomas Partey, the rumours are true. Excuse me, he's injured, he is out, but Jorginho comes in, so much experience from the Italian, so I'm sure that he's going to do well tonight alongside Xhaka and Ødegaard. And no changes in the front three, a bit surprising maybe. Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, and Eddie Nketiah, of course, through the centre. So Leandro Trossard is on the bench. So this is the Arsenal bench: Matt Turner, Kieran Tierney, Ben White, Jacob Kiwior, Rob Holding, Mario Cozier-Dewberry, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson's back from injury, and as I say, Leandro Trossard. So that's the Arsenal team. For Manchester City, this is how they line up. It's Ederson in goal. Looks like they've got a back three: Nathan Ake, Ruben Diaz, and Kyle Walker. In midfield, Rodri and Bernardo Silva will probably be sitting a little bit. Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, and Jack Grealish. And then, of course, Riyad Mahrez. And Erling Haaland is fit. No surprise there, really. We kind of expected that he would be. On the bench then for Manchester City, the goalkeeper Stefan Ortega, Aymeric Laporte, Sergio Gomez, Manuel Akanji, Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, and Julian Alvarez. So there you go. They are your team lineups. What do you make of that? Obviously, it's only really one change that that Mikel Arteta has made himself, which is, of course, the right back change. Tomiyasu coming in for Ben White. I think that's the right decision. Ben White has been struggling in recent games, hasn't he? So that makes sense. And of course, Thomas Partey is injured. So Jorginho comes in, a big night for him. A lot of Arsenal fans still not convinced by Jorginho, but he's got the opportunity, hasn't he, tonight to really, really show what he's made of and what he can bring to us for the rest of this season. Certainly, he maybe wasn't expecting to get an opportunity in a game like this so soon into his Arsenal career, but he has. And let's hope he can do the job he's there to do, and I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll do well. We've got an early comment in there from Dan from Turf Moraes TV. He says, "Go on, Arsenal, indeed." Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Glad to see you guys doing well. Looks like you'll be back in the Premier League next season. It'd be nice to see you again, which will be good, won't it? But yeah, obviously, I hope we're going to win tonight, of course. And if we do, then the title becomes not easy, but maybe slightly easier than if we don't win, obviously. I do feel as though the performance tonight is so important for Arsenal. If we can go out and play well, and, regardless of the result to a certain degree, I think, we played well against Man City at the Emirates last season. We lost in unfortunate circumstances. But I think if we play well tonight, it could lift the confidence, because we've been suffering a little bit, haven't we, the last few games. So that'll give us all a lift. And then hopefully it can be what we need to go on and really go for that title. If we lose the game tonight and we don't play particularly well, and if it's a bad scoreline as we've had against Man City in the past, then that could mentally, yes, obviously on points, we'll be level on points with them with a game in hand. So it'd still be in our hands, but you just feel as though mentally that could be the damaging thing for us if that was to happen tonight. So yeah, it's important that we at least match them up, give them a good game, and hopefully we can get a positive result. A draw is not a disaster, let's be honest. I think we'd all take a draw probably now, because it still leaves us 3 points clear of a game in hand, and that's not a bad position to be in, is it? But of course, victory would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? It would just be incredible if we were to get that victory. Phil says party out is bad news. Of course, he's been so important, hasn't he? And although Jorginho is a very, very good player, a very experienced player, he's a different type of player, isn't he? To Partey, and we're going to miss Thomas Partey. There's no doubt about that. And you know that historically, when Thomas Partey has not played, generally that's not always been a good thing, is it? So that's something we're going to have to be mindful of tonight, and hopefully Jorginho can step in, and we won't notice Partey not being there too much. But yeah, it's a massive loss, there's no doubt. And obviously, we'd all rather he was fit and he was playing, but injuries happen, and unfortunately, it's happened in this big game, which is unfortunate, isn't it? Terry says, good evening, Richard. Can't believe he hasn't played Trossard and picked Eddie again yet. Well, we spoke about it last night, didn't we, on the show? We felt as though maybe if he was going to make one change, an unforced change, if you like, it would have been Trossard coming in, possibly for Eddie or possibly for Gabby Martinelli. But he's stuck with the same front three that have looked tired and lacking confidence and ideas in the last few games. So a big opportunity for those three to step up again and show what they are capable of doing. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised. Trossard, who's done well when he's played since signing, yeah, I'm a bit surprised he's not in the starting lineup. But having said that, he made a big impact from the bench, didn't he, at the weekend? And who's to say he can't do that again? Come off the bench and make a big impact. So you know, let's see how it goes. I think I'm a little bit disappointed maybe that he hasn't changed a couple more positions when we've looked so tired. But you know, for a big game, knowing Arteta, he's not a gambling man, is he? He's gone with safe, what he feels is safe, and certain players he clearly doesn't trust enough in that squad. And maybe Trossard at this moment in time, he doesn't quite trust him enough, does he? He's had to throw Jorginho in, probably against what he would normally have done, as we know. Herman's in the chat as well. He says, hello, Rich. I think you're feeling better. Yes, mate, I'm feeling a lot better now. Thank you very much. I had a bit of a struggle at the weekend, as I'm sure you're aware. But as the week's gone on, I've been feeling better and better. And hopefully the Arsenal performance and result tonight will kind of complete my recovery, if you like. I've still got a few symptoms. I've still got a bit of a dodgy throat and a bit of a cough and a few sneezes here and there, but I'm feeling a lot better overall, which is the main thing. Nathan's in the chat. He says, hi, everyone. How you doing, Nathan? Hope you're feeling better, mate. Unfortunately, Nathan, I work with Nathan, and he seems to catch this flu off of me, so I do apologise for giving it to you. But anyway, I suppose these things happen, don't they? I didn't intentionally give it to anyone, but there you go. And Dan's back from Turf More SCV says, will we replacing City when they get sent to non-league? Well, yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? You'd certainly be much more welcome in the Premier League than Man City are, without a shadow of a doubt. So, but we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting that to happen, if I'm totally honest. I can't see them getting relegated out of the Premier League, let alone out of into non-league. As much as we would love that to happen, all of us, I'm sure, it's just it's not going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. I'll be surprised. Herman says, how many hot toddies did it take? Well, it didn't take too many hot toddies. I've had some cup of tea, I've had my bottle of water, and I've been fine. And my Yorkie bars, that's what's got me through. But yeah, I'm on the mend, which is good news, because you don't want to be ill for too long, do you? Nathan says no worries, can't help it. No, he's can't. I mean, I maybe should have gone into work last week when I was struggling a bit, but anyway, that's all done with now, and I say hopefully everyone's better soon, because that's what we want. Anyway, the teams are in a tunnel because it's an earlier kickoff. It is 7:30 kickoff tonight, not 7:45 or 8 o'clock. The game is live on Amazon Prime if you've got access to that in the UK, certainly. If not, don't worry, stay with us and we will keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the game. So Arsenal, of course, obviously in our home shirt, red shirts, white sleeves, white shorts and red socks. We've got the blue French style tracksuit tops on tonight coming out too, which are very nice. But for 75 quid, they can stay very nice in the shop. Man City look as though they're going to be in their home kit of sky blue. Obviously, the men's team do wear the white shorts. The women have changed, of course, to the sort of claret shorts, as we know. And that is how Man City are like. They've got a sort of a rather 80s style tracksuit top on, or sort of that 80s looking style shell suit type contraption on that they're wearing as they come out. And also saying the French looking very, very smart tracksuit tops. And the teams are coming out now, this big game tonight at the Emirates. I wouldn't call it a title decider quite yet. I do think that there's too many games to play between now and the end of the season for the winners or losers of this game to be in or out of winning the league. I still think there's so much more to play for, but it is a big game. And I think certainly from an Arsenal perspective, this Arsenal team have still really got to prove ourselves at the very, very top level. We've done well so far. But this is where the real pressure starts. And, this is the first of 2 league games we've got to play against Man City. These 6 points could decide the league, not just these 3 on their own tonight, but the 6 in total could well have a big impact, couldn't they, on where the league goes. So it is a big game for Arsenal. We've got an opportunity to bounce back from our last 3 disappointing results, if you count the FA Cup game, which I do because I like that competition. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Arsenal bouncing back with a better performance tonight, and hopefully that better performance will result in a positive result. And I say a draw is not the end of the world. Let's not get too worried about that. I think we'd all take a draw 100%. So let's see. It's a big night for Jorginho at Arsenal. He's had some big nights in his career so far, so I'm sure he's used to these occasions, isn't he? So it's not going to faze him in any way. But it's big boots to fill. Thomas Partey has been so important for us, but he's picked up a hamstring injury and he is out for this game and potentially Saturday's trip to Villa Park as well. Herman says, I missed your podcast on the ladies, but I did see the game last night and couldn't believe how they played. The second half was a lot better. Yeah, no, you're right. The first half was as poor as they played, actually. I've got to be honest. But the second half, it was much better. And I suppose in the circumstances, that's all you can hope for, but it wasn't enough in the end. And we lost that game. Let's hope that Arsenal tonight can produce a good performance for 90 minutes, because I think we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to. So the lineups, and I'll just quickly run through it again. In for Arsenal, Ramsdale in goal, the back 4, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. In midfield, Jorginho, Granit Xhaka and Ødegaard, the captain. And the front 3, as usual, Saka, Nketiah and Martinelli. For Manchester City, then in goal, it is Ederson. They've got a back 3, Ake, Diaz and Walker. Then in midfield, they've got Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne. And then in their front 3 is Mahrez, Grealish, and of course he's fit, Erling Haaland, the top scorer, top Premier League goal scorer, 25 league goals he's got this season, and we're only in the middle of February. Incredible goals tally that he's produced this season for Man City, playing a slightly different formation tonight, and a lot of the players who played in the FA Cup game for Man City are on the bench tonight, so it was a weaker Man City team on that particular occasion. It's a much stronger team tonight, and we're not surprised about that, are we? The 2 managers there with a handshake and a warm greeting, of course, very, very good friends, known each other for a long time, of course, got a massive amount of respect for each other, haven't they, the 2 managers? And, Arteta would love to have some of the success that Pep's had in his career, wouldn't he? And one way to do that would be to win this game tonight, and he might be on his way to winning a league title. It's going to be Man City to kick off this game in the sky blue tops and white shorts. They are attacking the goal to our left, which is the North Bank. No, they're not actually, are they? The camera's just doing a circle of the stadium, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly where we are at the minute. And when it stops spinning round, it's not making my head feel any better. Anyway, it is Man City to kick off, and they are attacking a goal to our left in this first half, which is the North Bank, for those familiar with the Emirates. And we are off and underway here at the Emirates. Big game tonight. Nathan Ake had a great game in the FA Cup, didn't he? Finds Jack Grealish on this near side, Manchester City's left in these very early stages. He goes back again, Ake to Ederson, goes long towards halfway, and Saliba flicks that ball on. Can Tomiyasu keep it in? He can. Plays it back to Aaron Ramsdale, flaps a little bit of that goal, didn't he, the other day for Brentford. We're all moaning, or a lot of Arsenal fans moaning about the VAR decision, but the decision for Aaron Ramsdale to come for that ball when he didn't need to is what cost us that goal more than anything else, and he needs to sort his life out a little bit. Anyway, it's a good throw from Ramsdale, finds Tomiyasu on this near side. Tomiyasu already looking up for this game. Martin Ødegaard, his first touch, plays it back to Gabriel. Arsenal just getting a little bit of a touch on the ball in these early stages here. We've played not even a minute yet. Now it's in with Jorginho. It's his first touch in the centre of midfield for Arsenal tonight. His first start, of course, since his move from Chelsea. Rather controversial move in many ways. But let's see what he's done. Arsenal won the ball. Martinelli driving forward over on that far side. He's found Eddie Nketiah inside the penalty. First chance for Arsenal. Nketiah's shot's blocked. Comes back to Granit Xhaka. He's fired over the top into the Man City fans behind the goal at the clock end. The first real attack there from Arsenal. Martin Elliott won the ball high up the pitch. Found Eddie over on that far side, Arsenal's left, just inside the area. His shot was blocked by Ruben Diaz, and Granit Xhaka's follow-up ended up with the Manchester City fans. Herman says it's unbelievable, 15 degrees here in Toronto. Wow, okay, that's pretty warm, isn't it? It's much warmer than it is here. It says it's 8 degrees here at the minute, but it's a bit cold in the outside, I'm sure. Anyway, it's a bit warmer now than it has been recently, so that's good news. Spring's on the way for us anyway. I'm sure it's still going to be cold in Toronto for a while. Anyway, it's a free kick to Manchester City over on the far side, midway inside their half, just in from that far touchline actually. So not in a particularly dangerous position for Arsenal to have to defend at this moment in time. Looks like it's going to be Kyle Walker to take it, former Tottenham player, of course. Got the sort of reception he normally gets when he visits the Emirates. So we'll see. Mark C says, come on, let's get at them at 100 miles an hour. Yeah, that's what we need to do. You're right. Let's get at them. Let's force them back. And hopefully we can get the lead. Because I do think if we can score first, it's going to be so important in a game like this, isn't it? I know last year we did, but it didn't quite work out that way. But we know the reasons for that. But I think this season, Manchester City look more vulnerable. And I think if we can go in front, I think it's going to be very hard for them to come back into the game, quite honestly. So that's what's important for us to do. And we need to try to start this game well. At the moment, it's very, very cagey. Neither team really having any kind of spell of possession, really. Arsenal have got the ball at the moment. William Saliba plays it to Tomiyasu on this near side, midway inside at the Arsenal half. We've played 3 minutes and nothing really has happened yet, if we're totally honest. That one little opportunity for Eddie Nketiah, but it wasn't a great shot. And I say Granit Xhaka's follow-up was high over the bar. Arsenal back in possession now here. Tomiyasu again on his near side. There's a lot of the ball actually in these opening few minutes. Martin Odegaard plays it back to William Saliba. Got a little bit of time, Saliba. He's maybe not been quite his best as he since the World Cup, and that's not a great ball to Tomiyasu, but there's no one putting Tomiyasu under pressure, and he plays the ball up line to Bukayo Saka. His first involvement, finds Eddie Nketiah. Was he fouled? The referee says he was, even though we kept possession. It's going to be a free kick. The referee tonight, by the way, is Anthony Taylor. Not that it makes any difference because they're all pretty much the same, aren't they? They're all pretty crap. It was Ruben Diaz there with a foul on Bukayo Saka. So it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal midway inside the Manchester City half. And it looks like Martin Odegaard is going to take it. It's just slightly to this near side, the Arsenal right, just very, very slightly. And it's, yeah, well, no, it's about, what, 30, 20, 25 yards outside the penalty area. So a bit too far out for a shot. Even Martin Odegaard's left foot isn't going to find the back of the net from this far out. But it's a good opportunity to get the ball into the box and put this Manchester City defence under pressure. Arsenal players all bunched, actually, just about, 15 yards away from Martin Odegaard. I'm sure they're all going to break now. Indeed, they do. It's like a free kick that's been worked in training, but it wasn't a great ball, and Kevin De Bruyne heads it away. Not very far, though, actually, just to Gabriel Martinelli, just lays it back to Martin Odegaard. Wasn't the best free kick, and that cross isn't the best either, and it's going to go out for a throw to Man City over on that far side. But that was the first moment there for Arsenal to maybe try and get a decent ball into the box. It wasn't a good delivery for Martin Odegaard that time. And Man City were able to get it clear. It is a throw over on the far side, which Kyle Walker is going to take. Playing as part of the back three tonight for Manchester City. We know his pace is one of his biggest strengths, isn't it? And they've probably put him there for that reason. Anyway, the ball's flicked on in midfield there by Riyad Mahrez. Finds Erling Haaland over on that far side. He's done well. He's found Mahrez again inside the Arsenal penalty. Pulls the ball back, but Jorginho's there. Great positioning from him. Clears the ball away. But Man City pick it up again today. It's gone behind, actually. Good play that was from Haaland. His first involvement, actually, Erling Haaland. It was flicked on by Gundogan initially. He's done well over on that far side. Gabriel slipped, which kind of helped him. He then threaded the ball through to Gundogan again. Skipped past Zinchenko quite easily there, Erling Haaland. It was a good ball. He ran into Granit Xhaka and pulled the ball back, but Jorginho was there. Good clearance, actually. Good play that was by Jorginho, covering for the defence. And Man City again trying to come forward over on that far side, but the ball's gone out for a throw to Arsenal. Granit Xhaka there involved with Kevin De Bruyne. And Arsenal now back in possession with William Saliba, plays the ball out this near side. Martin Odegaard just pops it off to Tomiyasu, goes back again to William Saliba, plays it into midfield to Alexander Zinchenko, who's dropped him from that left back position, plays the ball up the line now to Bukayo Saka. Thought he was fouled by Bernardo Silva, but he wasn't. Jack Grealish now having a run at that Arsenal defence, gets to the edge of the area, threads the ball through, looking for the run of Mahrez, but Granit Xhaka's back at full stretch, just got a touch to that. Played it behind for a corner. Man City starting to look dangerous here. Bernardo Silva, it was, won the ball there off Bukayo Saka. The referee said it wasn't a foul. Nathan says, surely that was a foul. It looked as it could have been a foul. It was from behind. He did get the ball. Anyway, the two players there are laughing about it afterwards. I think maybe Bernardo Silva perhaps felt he was lucky there. The corner's been taken short by Manchester City over on that far side. It's come out to Gundogan, puts a cross in, blocked well there actually by Eddie Nketiah, but it falls to Kyle Walker, plays it square to Bernardo Silva. Got a little bit of space to bring the ball forward. The little Portuguese finds it. Jack Grealish on this near side. He's in good form at the minute, Jack Grealish, isn't he? His socks rolled down as usual. Plays the ball back to Ruben Diaz now. Kevin De Bruyne takes over. Man City looking in control at this moment in time. We've played nearly 7.5 minutes at the Emirates. It's still 0-0. Not really many chances, but Man City now starting to get on top. And he played that ball forward there, Bernardo Silva. Well cut out, actually, it was by Jorginho, who's doing pretty well there so far. Anyway, Kyle Walker now coming forward, plays it in to De Bruyne, flicks it out to the far side. Riyad Mahrez not really had much involvement yet, but he's given the ball away, Man City, actually. And now Arsenal come forward with Granit Xhaka, finds Bukayo Saka. Mark C says there he's the most fouled man in the Premier League. He is. Well, he's probably fouled more than he's given. So he's however many fouls he's been given against him, and he's the most. You'd probably double that, and that's how many fouls have been committed against him. Just half of them never get given, do they? Like that one just a moment ago. Anyway, Arsenal now back in possession. It's a very, very cagey game, this. It's almost like a game of chess at this moment in time. And at the moment, it's Arsenal's move, and Tomiyasu plays it back to Gabriel. A little bit of time there. Man City aren't pressing us high up the pitch. Clearly, this is something that they have spoken about. Now they press Haaland, presses William Saliba, but he's in that hard, actually. Bukayo Saka now, again, surely he's fouled this time by Bernardo Silva. He is, and this one is given. And it's another one to add to the list of the fouls that Bukayo Saka's been suffered against this season. And that was Bernardo Silva again. That's two in quick succession for him. Although the first one wasn't given, that one was clearly a foul. He's got nowhere near the ball. And he did catch the ankle there of Bukayo Saka. He's had some rough treatment in recent weeks, hasn't he, Bukayo Saka? But that's what happens when you're such a good player and you're the danger man. Anyway, Tomiyasu with that ball over the top, looking for Saka that time. But it wasn't a great ball. And it's bounced through into the arms of Edison. And we've played 9 minutes. And it is 0-0 and very, very little to choose between the sides. As to be fair, we probably expected because, looking at the league table, looking at the style of play of both teams, there isn't much to choose, is there? Let's be honest. Man City have just got that little edge on experience, haven't they? And know how to win these sort of games and how to get results when it matters. And that's the main difference between these two sides. And that could prove to be important at the end of this game. We shall see. Anyway, Arsenal won the ball in midfield. Martin Odegaard tried to play out to that far side looking for Martinelli. It wasn't a good ball. Man City back in possession now with Bernardo Silva steaming forward through the centre for Manchester City. Tried to play the ball out to Grealish. Good defensive play actually from Bukayo Saka. Got back at the little Portuguese. I think those two are going to have quite a battle tonight. Mark C says they're City are almost playing a 4-2-4 formation when they press us. Yeah, they are. But, you expect something different from Pep because he tends to throw a few surprises in. Arteta's very, very rigid, isn't he? He won't change too much in terms of shape of the team. Pep's prepared to do that and in certain games, and that may be why Pep's won as much as he's won. And you've got to be able to adapt, haven't you? And that's what they've done. But we'll see whether it works or not. It might not work yet, but it is something a little bit different for Man City formation-wise tonight, isn't it? So we'll see how it goes as he tried to outthink his mate. That could be one of the reasons why. He knows Arteta knows him so well, and that's maybe why he's decided to throw a little bit of a curveball into a certain degree. Anyway, Arsenal in possession now over on that far side. Zinchenko, of course, he knows these Manchester City players very well, doesn't he? That ball there played by Martinelli looking for the run of Granit Xhaka, who didn't actually make the run. So Man City can tidy that up, and now it's with Kyle Walker pops it forward to Kevin De Bruyne, striding through midfield. Good the recovery there from Jorginho. Has had a really good start to this game. The Italian, that's a good ball as well. Finds Eddie Nketiah, tries a shot first time inside the penalty area. Good covering though from Ruben Diaz. Jorginho has had a very impressive start to this game, you have to say. Sitting in front of that back four, cutting the ball out, reading the game well, and now he's in possession again. This is good play from Arsenal. Martin Odegaard on this near side, just on the edge of the Man City penalty. Jorginho again finds Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu just held up a little bit, and that's a poor ball actually, and Gundogan can bring it forward, looking for the run there of Haaland. Try to turn away from Saliba, but the ball's run away from him, and Gabriel's there on the cover. Jorginho again in possession. John says there, hi Richard and Terry and all in the chat. I'm in work again tonight, so I'll be tuned. Good. I hope you're doing well, mate. You need a night off sometimes when the football's on. You need to sort that out. Anyway, Martin Odegaard now in possession for Arsenal. Plays the ball out to that far side. That's a good ball. Granit Xhaka lines up across, plays it in towards a penalty spot there. Good defensive header there from Nathan Ake. In fact, he's fouled by Eddie Nketiah. Maybe a high foot perhaps. He dived in to head that ball away, Ake, and he did get there first, and he was caught by Eddie Nketiah's boot actually around his head. It wasn't particularly high off the ground actually, but because he dived in with his head, it's always going to be a foul. It was pretty good defensive play actually from Ake. Brave as well. He got there first. He has won a free kick, got player of the match, and got the winning goal, didn't he, in the FA Cup game just a few weeks ago at the Etihad. And he's back in the side again tonight. Probably partly to watch Bukayo Saka again, as he did so well in that FA Cup game. And also just, you know, in the new defensive shape that Man City are adopting tonight. Not the first time they've played a three at the back, of course. But it's not something they play all the time, is it? Anyway, they are in possession now in midfield with Rodri. Got the first goal, didn't he, in their game against Aston Villa at the weekend. Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne pings it off to Riyad Mahrez. It plays it over the top, looking for the running behind of Erling Haaland. He's got the wrong side of William Saliba. Tried to thread it through to Kevin De Bruyne, did the big Norwegian, but the ball didn't go through. But Man City have picked it up again over on that far side. They're looking comfortable in possession, Man City, as you would expect. And so far, Arsenal defending fairly well when we've had to. But there's been one or two little moments where you're starting to worry just a little bit there, because Man City are playing pretty well at this moment in time. John says Partey not on, is he injured? Yeah, he's got a hamstring injury apparently in training, so Jorginho's in tonight. Mark says if you dive that low, you can't complain about getting a whack. No, he didn't really complain about getting a whack. The referee just gave it as a free kick, so you know, which was obvious was going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, he did have his head really low, dived in. And I mean, Eddie, it wasn't a high foot from Eddie, but he did catch him in the head. So I suppose he's going to be a free kick, isn't it? Anyway, Man City picks up possession again on this near side. Bernardo Silva whacks the ball up the line, looking for Erling Haaland, but William Saliba's there, and Kevin De Bruyne couldn't get that under control. And Arsenal now in possession inside the centre circle with Granit Xhaka, brings the ball forward, plays it to this near side. Tomiyasu just touches it off to Jorginho, directing things in midfield. Jorginho so far tonight, I've been really impressed with his performance so far. Still early days, of course. Let's not get carried away, but he's certainly producing a really good performance there, just sitting in front of the defence. Martinelli now in possession, plays the ball back to Saliba, plays out to that far side. Gabriel, one of a few Brazilians on the pitch tonight, of course, including a Manchester City goalkeeper, of course, Edison. Anyway, Man City picked the ball up again on this near side. Carl Walker plays the ball through. Haaland, is he onside? Doesn't matter, because William Saliba's across. Good defending from Saliba. He had to be alert there because Haaland was looking to get in the wrong side there. Anyway, Jack Grealish has now picked up the ball in midfield, plays it off to Gundogan. Man City flooding people forward every time they get the ball. Mahrez over on that far side, twisting and turning inside the penalty area. Riyad Mahrez dinks the ball across towards the far post. Haaland's there, plays it across the 6-yard box. No Man City players there. And Arsenal do manage to clear the ball away. A little bit of quality there from Man City. Mahrez, the ball to the far post. Haaland got away there from Tomiyasu, found himself in plenty of space, pulled the ball across the 6-yard box. No Man City player, fortunately, had made a run there to get on the end of that, or it would have been a simple tap-in, but good play from Manchester City again. Nathan says careless by Tomiyasu. It was. He just switched off, didn't he? And if you switch off of a second when you've got a player like Haaland beside you, you're going to pay, aren't you? And Arsenal almost did there. If it had been the other way around, if someone else had been putting that ball across the box, Grealish, for example, Haaland would have been in there to tap it home, wouldn't he? Because that's where he is. but no one else was. Anyway, Aaron Ramsdale looks like he's got a problem here. He's got his boot off, and it looks like it's some sort of heel injury, and he's going to require some treatment. I don't know whether he was caught there when he cleared the ball away a moment ago, or whether this is a separate injury, but he's going to have some treatment, Aaron Ramsdale. We've only played 16 minutes here, and the Arsenal players have gone over to this near side to get some words from Arteta, get a drink. The famous drinks break, of course, from the COVID season, if you remember, when we always seem to play better afterwards. And Arteta's using this time well to just make one or two little points to the players there, while Aaron Ramsdale gets some treatment inside the penalty area. Animated as usual, of course, the Arsenal manager. He expends a lot of energy, doesn't he? Pep just sitting back down in his seat, chatting to his coaching staff. Seems like he maybe trusts his players a little bit more, but then he has worked with most of them for a lot longer, hasn't he, I suppose. Anyway, they're just showing that moment just before when Haaland got away from Tomiyasu, who was caught on his heels a little bit. And that was probably the best chance of the game so far. Just nobody gambling inside the 6-yard box. Haaland there asking why nobody was there. And as he's got a right to do, of course, when you put a nice ball like that across the box, you expect someone in it to finish it. Anyway, Ramsdale looks as though he's okay now. He's just putting his gloves back on following that bit of treatment. He is back on his feet again, and we are going to carry on. It's a throw to Man City over on that far side. It's thrown up the line. Zinchenko's there. Not a great clearance. De Bruyne picks it up. Haaland is playing that. He's moved really far over to this right-hand side, actually, for Manchester City. But Arsenal have managed to win a goal kick on that particular occasion. He's drifting out to that right-hand side quite a lot, Haaland. Well, to our left-hand side, but they're right. And he was again there, but Arsenal did deal with that particular problem. 18 minutes played here at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Manchester City 0 in this big game at the top of the Premier League. Not too many chances yet, really, at either end, but Man City have been the better team, I suppose you could say, so far. They picked up the ball again in midfield. Kevin De Bruyne just tried to push it into the path of Haaland, but Arsenal dealt with that. And now it's back with Ramsdale. Finds William Saliba, now Jorginho, just inside the Arsenal penalty. Plays it back to Gabriel. Nice play from Arsenal. Just calmly playing it out from the back. Ramsdale now under a little bit of pressure, but pops it into Zinchenko, and then he knocks it out to that far side. Gabriel in the left-back position, really, coming forward, plays the ball through up that line, looking for Martinelli. A good touch onto Zinchenko. Couldn't quite make the most of that. In fact, it's been a foul already the referee's given on Martinelli as he came to get that ball, and it is going to be a free kick to Arsenal just around about halfway. Granit Xhaka lays it off to Zinchenko, and Arsenal just in possession inside our own half again. That's where most of our possession's been so far, actually, inside our own half. We haven't really posed too much of an attacking threat. We've played 19 minutes, so we're coming up towards a halfway point in this first half. No real big opportunities at either end so far. Anyway, Ramsdale with the ball all in yellow tonight, just outside the Arsenal penalty, just lays it off to William Saliba. Brings the ball slightly forward. Not really put under too much pressure at the moment. Haaland then goes to engage with him, and he lays it off to that far side to Gabriel. Gabriel plays it back to Saliba again, very central, midway inside the Arsenal half. Finds Tomiyasu on this near side. Arsenal's right. Long ball over the top, looking for the run of Bukayo Saka, but Edison's there. And it's bounced into his arms of the Brazilian goalkeeper. But Arsenal trying to get Bukayo Saka more in the game on this near side. He hasn't really seen too much of the ball, and when he has, he's found some pretty rough treatment from Bernardo Silva in these early stages. But anyway, Edison's still got the ball, in no rush to throw it out, and instead goes short to Nathan Ake. Bukayo Saka there closes him down and just picks up a bit of an injury there, closing Nathan Ake down there. He's just gone off the pitch at the minute with a slight injury, Bukayo Saka, but he's back on his feet again. He sort of, just as he went to block that ball, it was a bit of a painful one, actually. He maybe just kicked his foot, Ake, on the follow-up, on the follow-through, sorry. And Saka's still not really moving completely freely yet, but I'm sure he'll run that off. Anyway, the throw up the line by Bernardo Silva is flicked on by Haaland, comes back to Gundogan. Haaland again, but Arsenal picked up the ball well again. Now it's back with Saliba, plays it back to goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, just comes out of his penalty area, plays at the ball forward, but Nathan Ake anticipates that, a good header forward, but William Saliba does the same at the other end for Arsenal. And now Granit Xhaka just pops it off to Zinchenko. Keeps a little bit of possession. Zinchenko plays it into midfield to Martin Ødegaard. It's a nice ball played forward to Gabriel Martinelli. He needs some support over on that far side. He's got it now with Granit Xhaka. Plays the ball into the box looking for Martin Ødegaard. Headed away by Ake, but only as far as Martinelli. But Rodri was in there. The ball cross comes in. Eddie Nketiah's there with a header. 6 yards out. He's put it wide. Oh, Arsenal's best chance so far. What a cross that was from Zinchenko. And in fact, actual fact, it was over on that far side, Arsenal's left. That was a good move actually from Arsenal all round. 2 or 3 nice balls into the box. It fell to Zinchenko, whipped a great cross, and Eddie Nketiah between the 2 centre halves, 6 yards out. He's got to put that on target, quite honestly. He has got to head that on target. Instead, it's gone, 3-4 yards wide, and that's a big chance for Arsenal, and he's got to do better. Mark C says, I don't mind us hitting a long one like that every now and then. Try and get Saka involved. Exactly, yeah, we've got to try it, haven't we? I 100% agree. Nathan says, how has he missed that? Well, he's missed that because he's not very good, let's be honest. Phil says, I think he should have put that in. Well, he should have at least hit the target. At least make the goalie have to save it. I mean, he should have scored, but at least make the goalie have to save it, not just put it tamely wide like that. He's doing that too often lately, and I think it's quite obvious that if we've got rely on Eddie Nketiah for too much longer, the league title may well slip out of our hands. Anyway, it's a corner to Arsenal now. Granit Xhaka's cross there was deflected behind by by Ruben Diaz. It is a corner to Arsenal over on that far side in front of the Man City fans on the clock end. Can Arsenal get the breakthrough? That was the big chance though for Eddie. Needed to do better, but anyway, it is a corner though to Arsenal, and Arsenal players are lined up in a huddle on the penalty spot to separate now as the ball's going to come in. It does come in. It wasn't a great corner actually. Gabriel lost his way a little bit inside the penalty area. Now Man City can clear it away, but they don't. A shot comes in. It was deflected out. He's going to come straight into the arms of Edison. Not quite sure. He hit that shot actually on the edge of the box. It was quite a congested area there where the ball went to, and in the end, the ball has come through to Edison. We've played 23 minutes here at the Emirates, and that was the big chance there for Eddie. That header. In between, he got in between the 2 of the centre halves there, Eddie. Good kind of cross it was, a good movement from him. But once you get there, you've got to do better with that header. You really have. You've got to put it's got to go on target, quite honestly, and it didn't. And a big chance has gone begging. Now Tommy Asu's got some defending to do. Oh, that's a poor clearance. Kevin De Bruyne is in, and Kevin De Bruyne has scored, and that was Tommy Asu with the mistake. Very poor back pass. And De Bruyne was in like a flash. Aaron Ramsdale was in no man's land. De Bruyne just lofted the ball over him. Tommy Asu in the team for a rare start for him. Maybe that's part of the reason, if he's not quite 100% sharp. Good to see Zinchenko coming over to Tommy Asu. That's good kind of leadership there, and Martin Ødegaard as well. It's Kevin De Bruyne with the goal for Manchester City. We've just gifted them the lead just moments after we should be in front ourselves. Terrible mistake by Tommy Asu. Just didn't get any distance on that back pass, and the last player you want that to fall to in that position is Kevin De Bruyne, and it was a very decent finish actually there. He was put under pressure, Tommy Asu, from Jack Grealish, but that's no excuse for that terrible back pass. Really bad. And he left Aaron Ramsdale in no man's land, and a decent finish over the top of the goalkeeper there, bounced into the net by Kevin De Bruyne, and Manchester City lead this big game. And if it stays like this, they will be top of the Premier League tonight. But there's still plenty of time. We've only played 25 minutes, so there's plenty of time for Arsenal to come back into this game. But it's first blood to Man City at the Emirates. Manchester City 0, Arsenal 1. Kevin De Bruyne with the goal. Anyway, Arsenal now need to find a response. Said the first goal was going to be important, and it could well be. But anyway, we shall see. Phil says bad mistake. It was a very bad mistake. 2 big moments for Arsenal in quick succession. Eddie's miss, and then Tommy Asu's terrible back pass to gift Man City a goal. Could be 1-0 to Arsenal. Instead, it's 1-0 to Man City. That's how quickly things can change in football, just by 2 quick errors, really, in quick succession. Anyway, can Arsenal respond? Saka's done really well there, and then he's fouled again by Bernardo Silva. Surely it's only a matter of time until Bernardo Silva gets a yellow card. Saka's already saying to the referee, that's 2 or 3 times he's fouled me. The referee, Anthony Taylor, is having a word there with Bernardo Silva. And it was a foul again by the little Portuguese on Bukayo Saka, who's again getting kicked about. We've played 26 minutes and he's been fouled 3 or 4 times already, hasn't he, by Bernardo Silva. Surely the next one is going to result in a yellow card. And then after that, he's going to have to stop doing it, quite honestly, isn't he? Anyway, Arsenal coming forward now. Martin Ødegaard. Arsenal need a response after that terrible, terrible goal to give away. We've been giving away a few soft goals lately, haven't we? Not good enough defensively recently. Too many silly mistakes. And we've made one again. And it's proved costly. Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1. Arsenal looking to avoid a 4th game in a row without a win. Anyway, we're coming forward now on that far side, but Nathan Ake is going to step in, clear that ball away to Rodri, and that's a good turn from Ilkay Gundogan. Tries to thread the ball through to Erling Haaland. Good defending that was, though, from William Saliba, and Arsenal now looking to try and launch a counter-attack. Tomiyasu now on his near side. He's got Bukayo Saka outside him. He'd love to make up for that mistake, wouldn't he, Tomiyasu? He's found Martin Ødegaard, though, the captain. Takes over, finds Zinchenko, pings the ball out to that far side. Gabriel Martinelli having a little run at that Manchester City defence. He's just inside the area. Martinelli goes around the outside, tries to get across. It's deflected. It does come to Tomiyasu, and he's fired over the top of the crossbar there. As just said, he would love to make up for that mistake for the goal. He almost got a goal for himself. He's never scored for Arsenal. That cross fell to him there. He's hit it on his left foot. Maybe not his strongest side, and he couldn't keep it down. It's gone over the crossbar. And that would have been a great moment for him, wouldn't it? To bring us level. But he couldn't keep that shot down. It's gone into the clock end again. It's another goal kick to Manchester City. The cross from that far side was deflected, actually. And it fell kind of kindly to Tomiyasu, but he wasn't able to keep the shot down. But another chance for Arsenal. We've had a couple in this opening, 28 minutes that we've played. Eddie Nketiah's header being the most significant one, which he should have done better. I think we all know he should have done better. But anyway, Man City now with the lead. Anyway, Arsenal in possession. William Saliba pops the ball forward to Bukayo Saka. He's got Bernardo Silva up behind him again, but we've got him come out of that well. And now the ball's over on that far side to Zinchenko. Carl Walker's across. They had a bit of a moment after the FA Cup game, didn't they? They may well have another one during this game. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward now looking for this equaliser. Martin Ødegaard only did box. Saka now inside the penalty area. He delayed the shot. He didn't want to shoot with his right foot. He should have hit that first time with his right foot. That's the only opportunity he had. It opened up for him there. He's got to hit that first time. Yes, it's on your weaker foot, but you've got to just go for that there. There's so much space. Really good football from Arsenal. Martin Ødegaard, it was open that up. He was onside. Saka he needed to hit that there. He didn't. He tried to pull it back onto his left foot. The chance went, and the ball's with Edison, and that was a big chance. Phil says there, might have been off. Yeah, it was tight. You're right. It was quite tight. But I actually think he was just onside there, actually. And I think that probably would have been given had he scored. But he needed to shoot. That's what he needed to do. Shoot, put it in the net and worry about it afterwards. But he just didn't seem to want to hit it with his right foot, did he? With his right foot. Well, that's what he needed to do. Anyway, Martin Ødegaard pings the ball over to that far side to Zinchenko. Arsenal now actually responded pretty well to that goal. Zinchenko looking to get a cross in. Oh, that's awful. That's gone high and wide, and he knows it himself. Player of the month, of course, for January. Alexander Zinchenko just showing the goal again, which is a gift, absolute gift. You cannot gift Man City chances like that and hope to get away with it. It just drifted in. A good finish actually from De Bruyne. It wasn't an easy finish. It might have looked an easy goal, but it certainly wasn't an easy finish first time. But a player of Kevin De Bruyne's quality makes it look easy, doesn't he? And he did. And Arsenal with a mountain to climb really in this game. Although it's only 1-0, it's Manchester City, and they don't tend to throw away leads too often, do they, in these sort of games? Phil says they're trying to time waste already. Yeah, of course they are. And, you could say that's good game management, and that's something we need to learn a little bit more sometimes. Anyway, it's a goal kick to Manchester City, which they're just about to take now. Edison goes long, deep into the Arsenal half. Got some distance on that kick, actually. It's going to come all the way to Jack Grealish almost, but good defending there from Tomiyasu. He's going to want to make up for that, isn't he? Not want to make another mistake. Certainly not. Nathan Ake just touches the ball off to Bukayo Saka only, but Bukayo Saka plays the ball up the line. But I don't know if he was looking to try and run onto it already or what it was. But anyway, it was gone now for a throw. He was never going to get there. And we've played 31 minutes. at the Emirates. Arsenal 0 and Manchester City 1. Kevin De Bruyne with the goal after 24 minutes, gifted to him by a poor clearance by Tomiyasu. And that is the only shot on target that we've had in this game so far. Arsenal have had one or two nearly moments. Eddie Nketiah's header being the best of those. He should have done better, really. But anyway, it's a foul there against Martinelli on Kyle Walker, which no one in the crowd's very happy about. And Man City are going to have a free kick. I mean, Kyle Walker stood up there to try to head the ball. Martinelli's come in the back of him. Is it a foul? Minimal contact, but quite often they're giving us fouls, aren't they? Looked like Kyle Walker actually mistimed his jump for the ball anyway, but there you go. It is going to be a free kick to Manchester City, and Kyle Walker is receiving some treatment, not because he was fouled necessarily, but because he landed quite heavily on his back. And we're going to see some more treatment, trainer on the pitch, and a bit more time being wasted by Manchester City. Well, it's not really wasted, is it? Because it'll be made up later on, I suppose. In fact, potential head injury for Kyle Walker there, maybe the way he landed. Anyway, Pep is just having a little word there with Bernardo Silva and Nathan Ake. Bernardo Silva's been asked to do a real defensive job, hasn't he, in this game so far, on Bukayo Saka. And although he's fouled him 20 times, he's done it pretty well, hasn't he? But Pep now seems to be wanting to maybe alter things slightly. He's having a word with Gundogan, with Bernardo Silva and Nathan Ake as well. Maybe they're going to make slight adjustment, actually. Mark C says there that will slow him down a bit. Well, it slowed him down now because he's on the floor getting some treatment. But he is back on his feet again, Kyle Walker, the England man, and he's going to have to come off now to having received some treatment on the pitch. It is going to be a free kick to Manchester City, just midway inside Arsenal's, in their own half, sorry. They've just got a league table as it stands, which is completely pointless. But anyway, it does have Manchester City top on goal difference. So we do still, of course, have that game in hand, don't we? And I think Kyle Walker might be getting himself booked here because he just got the ball there and he hadn't been allowed to come back on the pitch. So he's just got himself a yellow card, Kyle Walker, because he had to go off for treatment, obviously. The ball came across to that side and he kept it in, even though the referee hadn't allowed him to re-enter the pitch. And he's got booked for that, which is, you don't often see a booking for that. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a booking for that before, ever. Very strange thing. And it's a free kick to Arsenal, of course, as well, for the same reason. And still, Kyle Walker's, I don't think he's been allowed back on the pitch. And I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'm not sure Kyle Walker knows what's going on. He's been waved back on the pitch again now. So, yeah, that's what happened here. He got a yellow card, a free kick to Arsenal. Very strange. Anyway, William Saliba now coming forward for Arsenal. Can we get an equaliser before half-time? We've got 11 minutes to play of this first half, and it's been a very tight first half, not much to choose, but a bad mistake from Arsenal has cost us the goal, and it's made life 10 times more difficult, hasn't it? We haven't played particularly well in the attacking sense yet, although a lot of that's down to the way Man City have set their team up. We haven't really come to terms with it yet, have we? Kyle Walker now with that long ball up that far side, but he's overhit that. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal, which Zinchenko takes quickly, finds Gabriel. 34, nearly 35 minutes played. Arsenal 0, Man City 1. Kevin De Bruyne with the only goal. Arsenal, though, in possession, looking for an equaliser before half-time, which could change the whole complexion of this game and potentially the title race. Zinchenko with a little bit of space over on that far side. Alexander Zinchenko just held up, plays the ball back to Granit Xhaka, pings it towards the edge of the box. That's a lovely touch. Eddie Nketiah's in, but the ball's bounced off him, hit his hands, and that just shows exactly where we are with Eddie Nketiah. It's a lovely little flick there from Martinelli. The first touch was awful, bounced up and hit his arm. A top quality striker takes that ball in their stride and gets a shot away. And Eddie Nketiah, having missed that header, just didn't cover himself in glory there either. And unfortunately, that's where we are. That's what level that we've got. And that is unfortunately why I think we might not win the league. Anyway, Edison has just been booked for time wasting, I think. Taking time over this free kick. He's took time over goal kicks. And good to see that the referee is acting quickly early in the game, getting a yellow card out for time. You don't often see that in the first half of a game, do you? A player booked for time wasting. But Edison's taken 10 minutes over every goal kick. and he took a long time over that free kick. And in the end, he's got a booking. Phil says Edison yellow for Thomas. Yeah, very early in the game. Strange that, isn't it? You don't often see. There's a couple of strange bookings we've seen now in the last couple of minutes from Man City players, which is not something that you see very often, is it? You certainly don't see time wasting yellow card in the first half of a game, hardly ever. So very, very strange that was. Anyway, Arsenal are in possession now. Granit Xhaka plays the ball out to this near side to Bukayo Saka. But he's held up there by Nathan Ake. He's done really well against him there, the Dutchman. In fact, he's conceded a free kick, but he's forced Arsenal back a good 15 yards. We're taking that free kick quickly. Tomiyasu there just loses out to Jack Grealish, but it is a throw to Arsenal, which Tomiyasu will take on this near side, Arsenal's right. It was Tomiyasu's mistake that led to the Manchester City goal. In fact, he leaves the throw to Bukayo Saka. Just inside the Man City half on this near side, Bukayo Saka looking for a bit of movement, actually, not really finding too much. Nobody's really looking for the ball for Saka. He needs to play it up the line forward until he's gone back to Tomiyasu. And then he does manage to get the ball back to Aaron Ramsdale this time. Shame he didn't do that in the initial one that gifted them the goal. Anyway, Gabriel plays the ball up the line over on that far side. Martinelli gets it back to Gabriel. Now it's with Zinchenko making strides down that far side. It wasn't a great ball. Martinelli almost made something of it though, but Man City have won it back and now looking for the goal scorer Kevin De Bruyne. But good defending actually there from Jorginho again. He's had a decent first half, Jorginho, I have to say. He's been very neat and tidy with the ball and he's anticipated a lot, cut out a lot of balls as well. He's had a good game. You know, Arsenal trying to come forward now. That's a poor touch from Martin Odegaard. Allowed Bernardo Silva to step in. And Man City are so good in possession of the ball, aren't they? Very, very technically great players, aren't they? Every single one of them. They can have the ball under pressure and they're not bothered. And 9 times out of 10, they come away with it. And that's what they've done over on that far side with Ruben Diaz finds Kyle Walker. Now it's back with Rodri, finds Edison. Terry says there the referee's got to get a grip on all these fouls on Saka. Well, yeah, I mean, he needed to book the players a little bit earlier than he has done anyway. Now he started booking players. You imagine that he's going to start booking a few more. So I think the next foul on Saka will be a yellow card. Anyway, Eddie Nketiah just picked that ball up there, plays it forward to Zinchenko. He's fouled in the back, is he? But the referee says play on because Arsenal do have possession, but not for much longer. But we do again. Granit Xhaka's won it back. Good play from Xhaka. Dinks the ball over the top, looking for the run of Eddie Nketiah behind as he's got the ball across the line. Oh, he hasn't. It's cleared off the line by Nathan Ake. So close there. What's the referee given? What has the referee given here? I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Has he given a penalty? I think the referee might have given Arsenal a penalty, actually. Not quite sure what's happened there. Eddie Nketiah got the ball over on this far side, Arsenal's left inside the penalty area. He managed to dink it over Edison. In fact, past Edison. It was going in, but it was cleared off the line by Nathan Ake. Now, was that a foul? Has he given it for that foul on the goalkeeper? Eddie Nketiah knocked the ball past him. And he's ran into him. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think that's a penalty. I think he's ran into the goalkeeper. And he's got his shot away. It was going in, and it's been cleared off the line. Now, if he's given that as a penalty, I'm pretty sure VAR are going to overrule this. He's given a penalty. As VAR, they've given a penalty? Wow. You know, Arsenal were on the back end of a rather strange VAR decision the other day against Brentford, you could say, and it looks as though we've just been the beneficiaries of one. Phil says Edison missed and took Eddie out. Well, I don't know. Eddie got the ball and he seemed to run into the goalkeeper, but I'm not really sure. Mark C says a red card for Edison. Well, no, I don't think he didn't deny him a goal scoring opportunity, did he? Because he got his shot away and it was cleared off the line. So I'll be surprised if it is a red card. Anyway, we'll see. Nathan says a big moment. It is a big moment. It's Bukayo Saka with the big moment. He's had a few big moments from the penalty spot, hasn't he? Mark C says he just had a yellow card to me. Oh, yeah, it's a good point. You're right. Actually, did. Yeah, he's just been booked. It probably won't. See, I don't know. Yeah, if he's given the foul for the penalty, should it be another yellow card? Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Anyway, he hasn't been sent off. It is a penalty, and it's going to be Bukayo Saka against Edison. This is a big moment in this game. 4 minutes before half-time. Can Arsenal get level? This is going to be a massive, massive moment in this game and potentially in the title race as well. Saka against Edison. Edison trying to play mind games, pointing over to that far corner where he wants Saka, or saying that's where he thinks Saka's going to go. But I think Saka's going to go to the goalkeeper's left, if I'm totally honest. But we'll see. It's Saka against Edison. This is a big moment. Can Saka get the equaliser here for Arsenal? This is a bit of a mind game going on. Saka takes a penalty and he's put it in that corner and it is 1-1. Cool stuff there from Bukayo Saka. It's only Arsenal's second penalty of the season. And Saka sticks it away with real calmness and quality and confidence. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there. Edison pointed in that corner, trying to outfox Saka. Saka put it in that very corner he was pointing to, and Edison went the other way, trying to play some mind games there. It didn't work. Saka is far too cool for that nonsense, and he has equalised from the spot. And it is Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. And what a big moment that is. A rather strange decision, it has to be said. Anyway, we'll take it. Lovely penalty. Phil says, yes, indeed. Brilliant, brilliant penalty from Saka. Just rolled it in that bottom corner. That is quality. That is quality and coolness at such a moment in such a game. That is absolutely brilliant from Bukayo Saka. And what a big moment that may well be in this game. Brilliantly taken penalty. And it is 1-1. And Arsenal have got themselves level in this first half. And I'm sure Pep will have something to say about that at the end of this game. But it's the 8th Premier League goal of the season for Bukayo Saka. Mark C says there, major pressure on the lad. And there was real pressure. And Edison wasn't making it any easier, was he, with his antics on the line? But Saka has stuck that away brilliantly. And it is 1-1. Herman says Saka for, I don't know what that means anyway. I'm not sure. But no, brilliant, brilliant penalty. You know, he's not had much joy in this game so far. He's been kicked from pillar to post, but he steps up when it's mattered once again, Bukayo Saka. And wow, that is unbelievable. Emerson's in the chat. He says, finally, the referees making correct decisions. Well, they're correct when they go our way, I suppose. That's one of the strangest penalties I've ever seen, actually, decisions. But anyway, we'll take it. And it is 1-1. And Man City, though, coming forward again over on that far side, looking for Haaland. But Granit Xhaka's across. It is going to be a throw, though, to Manchester City. We're into the last 90 seconds of the first half. Terry says, how cool was Saka's nerve there? Unbelievable, yeah, unbelievable. What an incredible young player he is, an incredible young man. To recover from what happened to him at the Euros, of course, that penalty miss. Since then, he's scored every single penalty for Arsenal. And the pressure on that one there, the time he had to take as well to think about it, absolutely brilliant from him. And Arsenal level. But Man City do have a throw over on that far side, which Kyle Walker's going to take. He's going to throw it long towards the near post. It's flicked on, is it? Comes to Grealish inside the area. Haaland shot, deflects off Grealish. It's still inside the penalty. A good save from Ramsdale there. The shot came, I'm not sure who got the final shot in there. It was bouncing around inside the Arsenal penalty area. It wasn't Haaland, was it? Gundogan with the shot. Grealish couldn't get a shot away. Haaland shot. In fact, I think it may well have been offside in the end. It was Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, sorry, with the shot. And it was a good save from Ramsdale. It's going to be a corner. And Herman says, oh, you meant Prime Minister. Oh, I see, Prime Minister. Right, okay. You will Saka for Prime Minister. Well, yeah, that way he can do what he likes. Bukayo Saka, he can be whatever he wants to be. But at this moment in time, he's focused on being one of the best players in Europe in his position, certainly. And coolness personified there from the penalty spot. Absolutely brilliant stuff from him. Man City now coming forward over on that far side, but Zinchenko won the ball back briefly, and now it is a foul on Riyad Mahrez by Jorginho. And Man City have got a free kick. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. There's going to be 6 minutes of stoppage time, actually. So all of that stuff that Man City have wasted time. We're getting that time back now. There is going to be 6 minutes, and it might not necessarily be to our advantage at this moment in time because we've got a free kick to defend. Kevin De Bruyne is over it, and Riyad Mahrez, it's midway inside the Arsenal half, just over on that far side. De Bruyne dinks a ball towards the edge of the 6-yard box, header away by Gabriel. Gone out for a throw, though, to Manchester City. Mark C says, keep the momentum, boys. Well, the momentum's kind of dropped a little bit, hasn't it? Man City have got themselves back on top again as we approach half-time. Jack Grealish with this free kick in line with the Arsenal penalty on this near side. Gets the ball back again, Grealish. Looking to twist and turn his way to some space. He's found Bernardo Silva, gets it back, Jack Grealish. Arsenal claiming offside, but it's not given. Now Rodri plays it square to Kyle Walker. Thought about dinking it into the box, instead finds Kevin De Bruyne, and that's with Mahrez over on that far side. Riyad Mahrez running at Zinchenko and Martinelli. Martinelli gets a foot in well. And now Arsenal got an opportunity to get the ball away. Have they? No, they haven't, because Man City have won it back again. Riyad Mahrez goes past a couple of challenges, falls over, and Jorginho brings the ball out for Arsenal. Now finds Bukayo Saka. Can Arsenal get the lead before half-time? Saka now running at that Man City defence. He's got 2 players for company, and this time he's fouled again by Bernardo Silva, and this time it will be a yellow card for the Portuguese. The referee there says it's 3 fouls. Well, it's took him 3 fouls to get 1 yellow. Edison's made 1 foul, gave away a penalty, and hasn't got a yellow, so it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? He got a yellow for time wasting, but not for a foul, and Bernardo Silva's done 3 fouls there. And anyway, Phil says dirty indeed, yeah, but he's been booked now, so he's going to have to calm himself down, isn't he? The little Portuguese, who doesn't look very happy at this moment in time. It is 1-1, and Arsenal have now got a free kick in a good area, actually, over on that far side. We've played 2 minutes of the 6 of stoppage time. Mark C says cynical. Yeah, when he's been allowed to get away with it, hasn't he? That's why, because he wasn't booked earlier, and that's the referee's fault as much as anything, isn't it? Anyway, Martin Odegaard's going to take this free kick. We know his delivery can be good towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed out by Ake, comes to Jorginho, plays it square though to Martin Odegaard, plays it back to Jorginho, dinks the ball in. It's touched off to Martin, and he looks offside, but he's not given across to the far post. There's no Arsenal player there, and Kyle Walker will clear that away. Mark C says defo yellow. No, it was. Well, I mean, he could have been yellow carded 3 times already, couldn't he, Bernardo Silva? You know, Man City the ball over the top again, looking for Haaland. Good defending, though, that was by William Saliba, but Kevin De Bruyne is after him now. He's made a mission to try and win the ball back, and he's put Saliba under enough pressure to concede a throw. Man City now coming forward again. De Bruyne whiz across towards the far post. Nobody's there for Man City, and it's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. 48 minutes on the clock, so that's, you know, we're looking at, we've played, what, 3 minutes of stoppage time. They just showed a penalty incident again. I mean, yeah, the goalie probably did run into him, actually, to be fair. He did get a shot away, but it was sort of afterwards. And then Saka has just coolly slotted it away. Very, very cool from him. Rolled it in that goal. Look at that. That's such a good penalty. And the Emirates exploded there with joy. But it is only 1-1. Still work to do in this game if we're going to get all 3 points. We're coming forward again now. Martinelli trying to burst his way through. Bukayo Saka as well. But Man City do scramble that ball away. Zinchenko, we've played 4 minutes of the 6. And the ball is back now with Edison, who conceded a penalty. And that's a long clearance looking for Erling Haaland, who's after William Saliba. He's got the ball off William Saliba there. Great play from Haaland, and he's won a free kick as well on this near side. Not very happy there with the referee. Haaland, who's not had too many opportunities really, has he? But he's certainly giving our defence a lot of problems. They're putting the ball up to him, and he's certainly holding off the defenders with his sheer strength and speed. Anyway, it's a free kick to Manchester City now. We have played 4.5 minutes, so we're into the last 90 seconds of this first half. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1, and this free kick is just in line with the edge of the corner of the penalty, about 10 yards outside, just on this near side. Arsenal's right is Kevin De Bruyne and Riyad Mahrez over this free kick. Phil says he's crafty with the shirt grab, and yeah, he is. Anyway, it's going to be this free kick here. Arsenal have got to be switched on defensively. We've not been too great from set pieces recently. It's going to be Mahrez with this set piece delivery towards the other 6-yard box. The header comes in, it's hit the bar, and it's going to be pushed away by Ramsdale. It bounced up, hit the bar. It was Rodri with the header. We said Arsenal haven't been particularly good from set pieces. We wasn't there either. We didn't clear that at all. In fact, it was Nathan Ake inside the 6-yard box, was it, who got the final touch. Rodri's header initially came all the way across off Tomiyasu. The header there from Rodri. In fact, it didn't. It was Rodri's header, bounced up and hit the crossbar. Incredible there. Got a little. In fact, it may well have come off Ake, looking at the replay. Either way, it's hit the crossbar, and then Ramsdale's pushed it over, and Man City were very, very close to regaining the lead. in the final moment of this first half. They've got a corner though. We've got another set piece to defend. Kevin De Bruyne with it. Kevin De Bruyne whips it in towards the far post. Ramsdale's there with a punch. Much better than he did against Manchester United the other week. That punch has gone out. It's going to be a throw over on that far side to Man City. Is it going to be time to take it? We have played the 6 minutes of stoppage time. In fact, the referee says no. He has blown for half time. Wow. What a first half that was. Lots of drama, certainly, and some good quality football played for both teams at times. Man City looked comfortable for a while. They got the lead, a goal that we gifted them when Tomiyasu's short back pass was lobbed home by Kevin De Bruyne. But Arsenal got themselves level with a penalty from Bukayo Saka after Eddie Nketiah was taken out by goalkeeper Edison, having just got his shot away that was cleared off the line by Nathan Ake. The referee called it back, gave the penalty. Man City are still unhappy about that decision. And at half-time, there's nothing to choose between the sides. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1, and as Mark C rightly says, intense. That's a very good way to describe that half. It was pretty intense, wasn't it? And we've got another 45 minutes to come as well. Could go either way, this game. Arsenal had some half chances, really. Eddie Nketiah had a big one, didn't he? The header he put wide just before Man City scored. Man City haven't really created too much, but they was gifted the goal that they got as well. So, you know, we've certainly done okay in that first half. Man City had a lot of possession, as you expect, and they've always looked to threat, but we've defended pretty well for the most part, and we've got ourselves level, having gone behind, and that's great to see, isn't it? But it's only half the job done, isn't it? We've got to go out in the second half. We've got to get this finished now. We've got to, you know, if it stays like this at full time, I'm sure we'll all be delighted, won't we, with the point, really. But let's go out and try and win it. We certainly gave as good as we got in that first half. There's nothing to suggest we can't win it. We've just got to be a little bit neater and tidier at the back sometimes. I have to say, Jorginho, I think, has had a great first half there. I don't know what you guys think. I think he's been brilliant there. I think he really has, you know, anticipated things well. He's made a lot of blocks. He's got himself in front of the Man City players. He's won the ball back, and he's shown some real good quality in midfield as well on the ball. So he's had a good first half, Jorginho, and we're going to need him, aren't we, to have a good second half as well, because that midfield area is so important. But yeah, it's been a good first half, hasn't it? A good intense first half of the sort of football that you want to see, isn't it? You know, when you're at the top of the league and you're challenging for titles and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, these are the sort of games that you want, and it's lived up to that side of it. Yes, it hasn't quite had the, you know, the goals and the excitement that we really want to see, goal mouth action a lot, but it's a very tight game, isn't it, between two teams that are very evenly matched, and I think that's where we are with it. But yeah, it's been a good first half, and hopefully, we can find a way in the second half to win it, which would be amazing, wouldn't it? Having gone behind, but there is still a long way to go. But yeah, a good first half that, and Arsenal done pretty well overall, didn't we? We've played reasonably well, and we've certainly been we've given as good as we've got, and we've got ourselves level. What a cool penalty that was. I just can't believe how well Bukayo Saka took that under that pressure. Brilliant stuff. And yeah, half-time 1-1. And, we'll certainly take that, won't we? We'd have took that before the game, and we'll certainly take it now. Even more so the fact that we went behind as well. So, yeah, brilliant stuff. And, yeah, let's see if we can continue that in the second half. Phil says there, I need a strong cup of tea. You maybe need something a bit stronger, maybe, mate. I think after that. But no, I mean it has been intense. There's no doubt about that. And it's very difficult at this stage to know or to think where this game is going to go, which way it's going to go. I think it could go either way. Homer says, how long will Jesus be out? Well, he's sort of kicking the ball again. He's out there kind of, on the grass. So I think they're expecting him to be back some point, maybe March, towards the end of March, potentially. So we've got Eddie for a few more weeks left, I would have thought, yet. But of course, it was him that was fouled for the penalty. So he missed a big-headed chance, didn't he? But he's helped to get us level. So I suppose at the end of the day, you can't really complain too much about that, can you? But I think we all know he's not quite at the level that we need. But if we can get through to Jesus being in the team without, without losing too much ground, and when Jesus is back, we're going to be a lot stronger, aren't we? There's no doubt about that. So that's what we need to do. Terry says Trossard for Eddie, but I bet he comes on for Martinelli. Can't keep carrying Eddie. Why can't Arteta see it? Well, the issue is we don't have another centre forward, do we? That's the problem. And Trossard is the natural replacement positionally for Martinelli, isn't he? Now, yes, you could say Trossard could play through the centre as a centre forward, and yeah, he probably could. I'm not saying he can't. He's done it for Brighton. I'm just not sure if the way that we play it would work with Trossard through the middle. I'm not saying it works with Eddie because he's not good enough, but what other options have we got? Martinelli moving into the centre potentially, and Trossard on the left is an option, isn't it? We'll have to see, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Eddie seems to be getting full 90 minutes every week at the minute, doesn't he? And lack of other options generally seems to be the thing, doesn't it? And Mark C says my blood pressure's back down to 105/70. Well, you want to wait till the second half starts, mate. You want the last 10 minutes if it's still 1-1 or whatever, it's going to be even more tense, isn't it? They're discussing the penalty now. I'm not really hearing what they're saying because I've got the sound turned down, but I don't know. Steve says, yeah, hello, finally fans. Come on, Gunners. Yes, come on, Gunners. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Herman says, Arsenal must get a striker, whatever it takes. Well, yeah, we can't yet, though, can we? Because there's no transfer window open, so we'll have to wait until the summer now. But yeah, we need. We should have tried. Well, did we try and get one in January? I don't know, but we didn't. But we definitely need to get one in the next transfer window. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So let's see what happens. Obviously, having Jesus back in the next few weeks is going to be a massive boost, isn't it? Let's be honest. But yeah, Eddie, unfortunately, bless him, isn't quite good enough for the very, very top level. And if we are going to be serious title contenders, and let's face it, we are. We've just shown in that first half we were as good as Man City in that game. So there's nothing to suggest that we can't. Win the title or certainly put in a decent challenge for the title. And, Eddie's not really good enough, is he, for that? He's not, unfortunately. So, but anyway, he's bound to score a winning goal now because he scored the winning goal against Man United, didn't he? Anyway, Phil says, classed as careless foul, not reckless, so no second yellow for Edison. But they're all agreeing it's a pen. Okay, they are. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, you can kind of see it when you look at the replay from behind the goal in particular. He did kind of see, I don't know, it looked a bit of a 50-50, didn't it? They were both obviously racing to get the ball. Eddie got there first, got his shot away, and then the goalies kind of hit him while they've kind of hit each other. So yeah, I mean, obviously we'll take it. Brilliant. It just seems strange to me that, after the decision that we had against us in the Brentford game that they've made such a big deal out of over these last few days, that we get, you have to say it's a soft penalty, really, isn't it? Compared to some other fouls that you see that aren't given as penalties. It is a soft penalty, but we'll take it. It doesn't make up for what happened against Brentford, I suppose, but anyway, Steve says why we having trouble to score the last 3 weeks. Well, I think there's been a few reasons, really. I think one is we have become a little bit predictable in our attacking play. I think we've come up against teams who we've played into their hands slightly defensively, and yeah, I think we've maybe lacked a few ideas. And Eddie Nketiah up front, unfortunately, isn't the man, is he, to take those chances? So I think they're the reasons overall. And maybe we just, I think every team every season goes through a little spell, don't they, where they just go off the boil for a few weeks. Every single team that's successful wins the league. They will have a spell in the season where it doesn't quite happen for them. And, even the Invincible team, there was a few weeks where we didn't play particularly well, got a few draws in games that we should have won and we were a bit off it. And it happens to every team. And I just think we're just in that spell at the minute. The important thing is how we get through it. That's what we've got to do. We've got to, battle through this little spell, and things will improve again, because we've shown, haven't we, this season what we are capable of doing. And yes, it's a lot different in the first half of the season with no pressure on you, or not as much pressure. And when the pressure ramps up as you get into March and April and May, that's when it's important, I suppose. But yeah, we just got to try and get through this, stick together, and hopefully we'll find our form again. I mean, that first half had some good moments in it. Obviously, we knew today's going to be a completely different game. It's a unique game, isn't it, playing against Man City, because they play a completely different style to every other team in the Premier League. No one else comes to the Emirates and plays the way that Man City play. They just don't. It just doesn't happen. So it's a one-off game in many ways, isn't it? The way that this game was always going to be. And, you know, we've done pretty well in that first half, but it's a matter of trying to make sure that we, you know, start getting on a run again of wins, you know, once we've got this game out of the way, and hopefully we've got a good result, and then pushing on Saturday and starting another one of those runs that we were on before Christmas, or before the World Cup, and even just after. So, but yeah, I just think we just hit that little spell, haven't we? And I say every team has one. No matter how good you are, no matter what you end up winning or not winning, every team has a spell like that in the season, and we're just having ours, aren't we, at this moment? Mark C says their teams work out ways to combat us eventually. Well, yeah, of course they do. But then you say that, but then teams haven't really worked out how to combat Man City, have they? Because Man City still keep winning the league every year, and there's only so much you can prepare for. If the other team's that good, you're not going to be able to stop them. Right? Look at the Invincibles. You know, no one managed to stop the Invincibles, did they? Well, Man United did eventually, by kicking us, and maybe that's what's going to happen to us again. I don't know. Mark says there as well, Martinelli and Saka need to make runs consistently at Walker and Silva this half. They're both sitting on yellows, one slipping off. Yeah, that's a good point. They are. They're both their kind of fullbacks, if you like, are on yellow cards. So yeah, we want to put them under pressure if we can, definitely. Steve says there, is Arsenal players tired? Arteta plays same 11 every week when's Jesus and Smith Rowe back? Well, yeah, no, you're right. We are playing the same 11 nearly every week. Today there's been 2 changes. Partey's injured, so Jorginho's in, and Ben White's been left out for Tomiyasu, and then Tomiyasu makes that mistake. So maybe Arteta's not going to be so quick to make changes in the future, is he, based on that kind of decision? Although I thought Tomiyasu's had a fairly decent first half, actually, overall, apart from that one mistake. Jesus is expected to be back, you know, probably within another 3 or 4 weeks, I would say. I reckon he'll be back in the team by the end of March, I would imagine. As for Smith Rowe, who knows? He seems to be one injury after another with Smith Rowe. This season has just been a write-off, and it's reminded me a lot of Jack Wilshere, if you remember. He would have an injury early in a season or in pre-season, and he missed the whole season, didn't he? He did that a couple of times, and Smith Rowe's only played twice this season, or 3 times or something stupid. He's hardly played, and it's got Jack Wilshere. In fact, he's starting to get Jack Wilshere vibes about him. Smith Rowe, a fantastic footballer, just never really fit for long enough, and I do feel as though that's an issue with him, unfortunately. But let's wait and see. He might come back fitter and stronger this time, and he'll be fine. But I'm not sure when the actual date is for him to return, or Jesus. I think Jesus is likely to be March, though, middle of March, end of March. By then, I think he'll be back. Smith Rowe, who knows? Hopefully, he'll be back before the end of the season. But at this moment in time, it's very, very difficult to know. We've not really heard too much about Smith Rowe, actually, but we'll see. So we are going to be looking forward to the second half starting very, very soon at the Emirates. 1-1. What intense game that was between the top 2 sides in the country. Wouldn't have expected much else, would we? Let's be honest. But Arsenal, we've got ourselves back in the game, and we could, for me, go on and win it. Who knows? But we'll see what happens. A lot of football still to be played in this game. Another 45 minutes, and who knows where we'll end up. Anyway, Man City are coming out for the second half, and Arsenal are as well, actually. I'm not sure if there's going to be any changes at half-time, unless there's injuries. Arsenal are unlikely to make too many changes. Tomiyasu's coming back out again for the second half. Eddie Nketiah as well. So I don't think there's going to be too many changes going on. I don't know if Man City have made any, have they? Doesn't appear to be so. Haaland is coming out again. There was, of course, an injury doubt over him, but he's here. And he's caused us 1 or 2 problems. Arsenal in the tunnel, ready to come out. Man City coming out first. Arsenal just queuing up in the tunnel. Martin Odegaard and Erling Haaland, they had a little word of each other in the tunnel, a little laugh between themselves as they come back out for the second half. Of course, the 2 Norwegians known each other very, very long time, haven't they? And Arsenal now are coming out, led by the captain. Arsenal looking up for this game in the second half. Let's see what the performance is like. Can we find a way to win this game? And what a big result that would be. Not only would it be a big result in terms of the top of the league, it would be a statement result, wouldn't it? You know, this team has got there. And in fact, Martin Odegaard and Erling Haaland are still having words on the halfway line as we wait for the second half, having a laugh together, which is nice to see. It's a tense game. It's a big game, but 2 friends there having a nice moment on the pitch just before we start this second half. It's going to be Arsenal kick off, attacking the goal to our left in this second half, the North Bank, for those who know the Emirates. And let's see if Arsenal can get the win. Terry says, before the second half starts, everyone hit the thumbs up. Yeah, give us a like, guys, if you're enjoying it. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe as well. I think most of you guys in the chat have already subscribed. There might be a few people watching that haven't. So if you haven't, please consider subscribing. And so give us a like as well. We are just about to get off another way in this second half. Anthony Taylor's just chatting to Kyle Walker there. I'm not quite sure what the hold up is for starting the second half. We'll see. Terry says, come on, you Gunners, let's do this. Indeed. What's the delay? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, Anthony Taylor does blow his whistle. We are off and underway. Eddie Nketiah plays the ball back to Aaron Ramsdale, and he goes long up that far side in familiar style, but Nathan Ake's there, and now it is with Haaland, plays it square 2. Kevin De Bruyne tries to get it back there. Haaland, it wasn't a good ball actually from De Bruyne, unusually for him, and Arsenal managed to deal with that. Not very long though, because Bernardo Silva over on that far side steps in, but managed to won the ball back again. In fact, it's gone out for a throw to Arsenal. Homer says, in Canada, we had Wayne Gretzky, who seldom got injured because his talent was unbelievable and seemed to have eyes in the back of his neck when he tried to play him, when they tried to play him into the balls. Yeah, that was ice hockey, wasn't it? He played, I seem to remember. Famous name, of course, Wayne Gretzky. But yeah, bit of a different sport, isn't it? Ice hockey to football, but it's very enjoyable, I must admit. I know it's big in Canada, isn't it? Anyway, it's a throw to Man City. I think it is. I'm not quite sure what the referee's doing it. It is a slight delay in the play, but it is going to be a throw to Man City over on that far side. Their left. It's gone long up the line looking for Haaland, who got the flick on. It's gone out again. It's going to be another throw to Man City. We've played just over a minute of the second half. Been a bit scrappy so far, actually, at the start. Not really any pattern to the play so far. Haaland now trying to get away on his near side. Under pressure there from William Saliba, and Saliba manages to see the ball out. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. Good defending, actually, from Saliba. He's had quite a battle, hasn't he, with Haaland tonight. And he's done pretty well overall, William Saliba. You have to say, he's had a few critics, hasn't he, recently for some of his performances. Not quite at the level that he was at earlier in the season, but he's a young player. He's going to have dips in form, isn't he? And he certainly has maybe had one recently, but he's played well tonight, William Saliba. He's defended well against the very physical presence of Erling Haaland. In fact, Tommy Asu is going to get booked for time wasting as well now, or not taking a throw from the right position. Very, very strange booking that. Why would Arsenal want to waste time when it's 1-1 early in the second half? But I suppose he's set his stall out, hasn't he, by booking Edison for time wasting in the first half. So I suppose he's making a point of time wasting, I guess. But why Tommy Asu would be time wasting at this stage in the game, I don't know, when it's 1-1. But anyway, he does take the throw now. Tommy Asu's now been booked, so he's going to have to be careful, isn't he, for the rest of this game, as well as the other 2 Manchester City defenders, Kyle Walker and Bernardo Silva, who's sort of playing as a fullback, hasn't he? Anyway, Jack Grealish hasn't had a lot of influence on the ball lately, but he's done well there, Grealish, dropping deeper to get that ball, finds Rodri. Now he's just pinged it off to Kyle Walker on his near side. Man City's right, plays it back into Rodri, moving forward for Manchester City. Now it's with Mahrez. Not had much influence on this game either, has he, Riyad Mahrez, so far? But it's quite difficult to keep these sort of players quiet for a full 90 minutes, isn't it? But that's the task for Arsenal. Really, Jack Grealish over on that far side, running at Tomiyasu. Goes past Tomiyasu. Actually, he's done well, Jack Grealish, but he had no one to really hit across to, so he's come back on himself. Then he backheels it to Bernardo Silva, twisting and turning, trying to get a cross away. He's still trying to get that cross in, Bernardo Silva. He does get a cross in, looking for Haaland. He almost heads it away, Haaland, but Man City picked the ball up again. It's now with Nathan Ake. Man City had a spell like this in the first half, didn't they? A lot of pressure, didn't lead to much, but they're doing it again now. Ruben Diaz inside the centre circle, plays it out to Bernardo Silva. And that far side plays it back in field to Rodri. Brings it forward and plays it square now to Diaz again. Ruben Diaz gets it back to Rodri. Arsenal got good shape out of possession at the moment. Everyone back behind the ball, making it difficult for Manchester City. Ruben Diaz just plays it back to Rodri again. Those two just exchanging passes at the moment without making too much forward progress. Now Kyle Walker's got a little bit of space on this near side, finds Riyad Mahrez, but the ball bounces off the Algerian. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal, and that load of pressure for Man City didn't actually lead to anything. Zinchenko with the throw, plays it back to Gabriel, pings it into midfield to Granit Xhaka, does well. Xhaka plays it to Martinelli, he just flicks it off to Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah does well actually there and lays it off to Martinelli. And suddenly Arsenal trying to play their way through this Man City midfield, but find it difficult. Martinelli again, though, put under pressure from Gundogan and then from Riyad Mahrez. And Zinchenko in the end is forced back to Aaron Ramsdale. And there it goes out to William Saliba over on that far side. Arsenal keeping possession and moving the ball from left to right, but not really progressing up the pitch at this moment. But now we might. Martin Odegaard plays it into Granit Xhaka now in middle of the pitch, got a little bit of space. Granit Xhaka plays it out to this near side. Gabriel Martinelli now is going to have a run at this Manchester City defence just on the edge of the penalty area now. Martinelli goes round the outside. Is he going to get a cross in? No, he doesn't. He comes back to Zinchenko. Will he get a cross in? Zinchenko looking to cross it with his left foot, but he had an opportunity there. There wasn't really anyone in the box, but he's going to try and go past Riyad Mahrez, but Mahrez actually takes the ball off him. Good defensive play from Mahrez. He hasn't done too much in the attacking third of the pitch, but he did good defensive play there, and William Saliba just plays the ball out of play there. And Kevin De Bruyne and Mikel Arteta have a little push there inside the Arsenal technical area. Those two know each other very well, of course, from their time together at Man City. Arteta did try and get the ball away from Kevin De Bruyne. Didn't react too well to that and told Mikel Arteta what he thought of it as well. I bet those two could have had a few of those incidents at Manchester City back in the day. A little bit of a funny moment there, actually, between those two. De Bruyne not happy with Arteta's reaction, and he's just having a word with the referee there. Anyway, it is a throw to Man City, which Riyad Mahrez is going to take on this near side, throws it up the line, but Zinchenko's there. Now it's with Mahrez again, and he's fouled, is he? He is fouled. It's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Martinelli it was with the foul. Well, very soft, but I don't know. As soon as he went past him there, he was looking to go down, wasn't he, Mahrez? And it is a free kick, though, to Manchester City on this near side. Midway inside the Arsenal half, about, 20 yards in from the near touchline. Kevin De Bruyne and Mahrez are both over this. Kevin De Bruyne, Manchester City's goal scorer, of course. Erling Haaland is no doubt going to be the target, you would imagine. He's a big fellow, isn't he, Erling Haaland, and Arsenal are going to have to keep an eye on him. But this free kick now, can Arsenal defend this? It's going to be De Bruyne with it. It is De Bruyne to the far post. Nobody's there. And Tomiyasu should be able to scoop that away. And he does. But Bernardo Silva picks it up and goes all the way back to Edison. It was a decent enough ball from De Bruyne, but there was no Man City player there. And Arsenal dealt with that pretty well. But they're coming forward again now. Mahrez, but he's offside. The flag is up. Riyad Mahrez on this near side. He's wagging his finger at the linesman there, but it's too late, mate, because VAR would have sorted it out anyway. That's a poor ball, actually, there from Granit Xhaka. Kyle Walker steps in. And Man City are having a good spell of possession here, actually, without actually creating any chances with it whatsoever. But Arsenal haven't really had any possession in the Man City half yet. Since half-time, we've played nearly 53 minutes. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1 in this big game at the top of the Premier League. A win for Man City puts them top A win for Arsenal puts us 6 points clear of a game in hand, and a draw keeps us still 3 points clear with that game in hand. So that shows how big this game is and how important it's going to be. Anyway, Martin Odegaard there complaining that he was fouled, but the referee, I think, is just going to give a throw to Manchester City. Martin Odegaard there was all off balance, couldn't keep the ball in. He claimed he was fouled, and potentially he was, but anyway, Man City in possession now. Mahrez on this near side, good touch from him, put under pressure though from Zinchenko. He does well to keep the ball actually, Mahrez, and does well to stay on his feet, because usually he likes falling over, doesn't he? The slightest little touch. But Man City now, Bernardo Silva goes back to goalkeeper Ederson. 54 minutes nearly on the clock here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. The leaders against the champions. And nothing to choose between the sides tonight so far. 1-1 the score. De Bruyne with the goal for Man City, following a mistake from Tomiyasu, and Bukayo Saka with the equaliser from the penalty spot for Arsenal just before half-time, after Ederson fouled Eddie Nketiah. And Eddie Nketiah has just been fouled again, at this time by Ruben Diaz, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal just about on halfway. Just a little bit too tight there, wasn't he, Ruben Diaz to Eddie Nketiah, and it is a foul. Man City are just preparing their first substitution of the evening by the look of it. We'll let you know a bit more about that in due course, but it is a free kick to Arsenal. Jorginho takes it, gives it to Tomiyasu, and then gets it back, gives it back again to Tomiyasu. He doesn't try too much, too clever, does he, Jorginho, sorry. He just gets the ball and just plays it simple, keeps possession, keeps his shape. It's a nice little ball play forward. They're looking for the run of Martin Odegaard, but Nathan Ake was there, funnels it back to goalkeeper Ederson. But that's a poor clearance by the Brazilians. A throw to Arsenal over on that far side. Bukayo Saka now, a little bit of space. Arsenal's goal scorer on that far side, cuts back inside, leaves a bit of support. He does. Jorginho whips the ball across the 6-yard box. Was it a cross? Was it a shot? I think it was a ball looking for Eddie Nketiah. Clever play again from Jorginho there. He found himself in a little bit of space just on the edge of the penalty area. He just found himself there, trying to dink the ball round the outside, trying to find Eddie Nketiah. It was a bit too close to Ederson. But now it's Man City's turn to come forward with Jack Grealish running at that Arsenal defence. Plays the ball to this near side, looking for the run of Mahrez, but it's gone behind. And it is going to be a throw to Arsenal. Mark says there, a good football IQ, Jorginho. Yeah, he's a very, very intelligent player. I don't understand the big fuss that was made about him signing. I always thought he was a decent player, and he's added that little bit of experience to the team. Always a foul there, is it, by Gabriel on Haaland? It is a penalty. Oh, terrible mistake from Gabriel. The quick throw there. Gabriel's got himself a yellow card, and now he's pushing the referee. He's going to have to be careful. And Haaland got the wrong side. He's pulled him back. And it is a penalty to Man City. They've got the chance to go back in front. Gabriel's not happy with that. Let's have a look at it again. It was a ball played forward there. In fact, it wasn't it was Gabriel's got the wrong side, and he has pulled him back. I don't think you can't have too many complaints about it. He was pulling him just before. Haaland's far too strong, got the wrong side of him, and I don't think he can have too many complaints there, Gabriel. He just wanted that ball more, didn't he, Haaland? And Gabriel's not made too many of these silly mistakes in recent games, has he? He's been pretty steady and solid, but that's a bad mistake. He's got caught out there by the strength and movement. In fact, there might be an offside here. We might get away with this one, actually, because Haaland might well be offside. So I don't think this will be a penalty after all. I think he's going to give that as offside against Haaland. And they're not going to forget to draw the lines this time, are they? He is offside by the look of it. I haven't seen the lines. I've got the replay there. He does look offside. I suppose it's just whether the ball came off the Arsenal player or not. Or is Gabriel's foot behind? Not quite sure what they're looking at, VAR. But anyway, this may be overturned, this decision on offside. So we may have got away with that. Gabriel may have got away with that. Actually, it's very, very tight, to be fair. I'm not quite sure. In fact, it's taken them so long to decide, tends to suggest to me it's just carry on. But you know, it is very, very close. They're almost level, the pair of them, actually. Anyway, we are about to find out whether this penalty is going to stand. It is offside. It's not going to stand. Haaland was offside. The penalty has not been given. It's been overruled by, and that surely means his yellow card will get overruled as well, will it? The penalty has not been given. And another decision has gone against Man City. In fact, he has rescinded the yellow card as well for Gabriel. So that's been scrubbed off. So that was quite a tense moment, wasn't it? As soon as you saw the replay, it did look as though Haaland was offside. And Haaland is having a word there with Gabriel. Maybe just talking about that incident there. A bit of a let off that for Arsenal. Sloppy defending from Gabriel. He's got away with that one. He looks relieved, and so he should be. But it was poor defensive play from him. And the penalty's not been given. Pep's got his head in his hands again. Herman says, like a chess game. Yeah, it is very much like a chess game, yeah. I've got a feeling it may well finish in a draw, I've got to be honest. But Man City there will feel as though another decision's gone against them tonight. Steve says they're lucky. It's very lucky, very, very lucky, because it was a bad mistake there. Emerson says they're definitely a penalty, but correct decision. We've got away with that. Yeah, we have definitely got away with it. Yeah, it was terrible defending from Gabriel. And yeah, it was. I mean, they're looking for a red card for Haaland there. If he's put his hand into Gabriel's face, he was looking at the ball. There's no way that's a red card. Although the way this game's been refereed, who knows? But no, I mean, Emerson, you're right. It would definitely have been a penalty. The penalty wasn't overruled. The penalty was a penalty. It was a clumsy foul by Gabriel. He's now receiving some treatment for that. Army just took in the face there from Haaland. But yeah, we did get away with it, absolutely, because Haaland was offside. Very, very tight offside as well. But it's just funny, isn't it, having the decision that happened on Saturday against Brentford. Suddenly there's been a couple of tight ones tonight that's gone in our favour. So, you know, they say they're even themselves out over the season, and maybe they do to a certain extent. But anyway, we'll take them tonight all day long, won't we? But yeah, a little bit fortunate there. Definitely. Gabriel's got to learn from that now, because we've got half an hour left of this game. Emerson said there they needed to view from the other side of the pitch with a spell out the process. Well, yeah, they like to take their time, don't they? Make a big drama out of it. And Herman says a referee can sometimes be like a bureaucratic politician. What you mean, full of shit? I don't know if I put that comment on there. They need to view it from the other side of the pitch to speed up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what they needed to do. Yeah, but anyway, they can only draw the lines on one side. Anyway, Manuel Akanji has just come on for Manchester City. So they're making a defensive change, and it's actually Mahrez that's gone off. See, it's strange, isn't it? Right, Man City are drawing this game. Oh, Arsenal's giving the ball away. Bernardo Silva now. It's with Haaland over on that far side. A little bit of space. Haaland goes. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Actually, I don't know if he was trying to thread the ball through to Bernardo Silva, but it was a poor effort, and Arsenal managed to clear that away again. Man City now look as though they've got the bit between their teeth following that penalty decision that was overturned. And rightly so, he was offside. As soon as he saw a replay of it, we kind of felt we may have got away with it. Anyway, Bernardo Silva on that far side, it's a goal kick. In fact, it was Jack Grealish, sorry, it's a goal kick to Arsenal. Man City now feel as though the referee is definitely against them. But that did go off. Tomiyasu then did kick it off Jack Grealish. That was a right decision again by the referee. He just kicked it onto Grealish's foot there. So well spotted by the referee. If he spotted that, there's going to be a yellow card to somebody. He's got a yellow card in his hand. It might well be Jack Grealish. In fact, it is Jack Grealish, probably for what he's just said there to the referee. And the drama here at the Emirates continues. And it's certainly been a dramatic evening, hasn't it? It is still Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. And Manchester City were denied a penalty a few moments ago due to an offside from Erling Haaland in the build-up. Anyway, it's a goal kick now to Arsenal, which Aaron Ramsdale is going to take. We've played 62.5 minutes, so we're midway through this second half. Are we going to get more drama yet to come? You feel as though there will be. You feel as though there's a big moment coming in this game at one end or the other. Not quite sure which way it's going to go. It's getting a little bit feisty out there as well now. Players on both sides contesting every single decision. But it is a throw to Man City, which Nathan Ake is going to take on this near side. And both teams looking for what would be a massive goal. Now, you do feel as though whoever goes in front next is going to go and probably win this game. It feels like that sort of a game, doesn't it? You can't see there being too many goals left in this. So you do feel as though one more goal. And there's a late one there by Nketiah on Ruben Diaz. And you do feel Nketiah is going to get a booking here as well for that. Surely some of the bookings that's happened so far. In fact, he is yellow carded there, Eddie Nketiah. He was slightly late there on Ruben Diaz. Yeah, that's a booking all day long. He can't really grumble about that, I'm afraid. He tried to block the clearance, but you can't go up with your studs like that, I'm afraid. And it is a yellow card for Eddie Nketiah. So the yellow cards have been flying about in this game now. I've lost count of exactly how many there's been, but there must have been 5 or 6 at least. And several of those have happened in the last few moments. Anyway, it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City when we get going again. Ruben Diaz is okay. Back on his feet again, the Portuguese. And he's going to take this free kick himself, actually. 64 minutes played. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1 in an incident-packed, although not really goal-mouth incident-packed game here at the Emirates. There's a long free kick there looking over his far post. Zinchenko though heads it back to Aaron Ramsdale. Good defensive play from him. Nathan says, so stop-start. It is, yeah, it is very stop-start, yeah. There's no real flow to the game, is there? There hasn't been pretty much from the start, actually, and there definitely isn't any flow to this second half. Anyway, Arsenal trying to play out from the back, but just gets away with that. Then Zinchenko wasn't a good ball to him. And in the end, Kevin De Bruyne has deflected it behind for a throw to Arsenal. Zinchenko trying to lift the crowd as we are at the midway point of this second half. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. Zinchenko with this throw for Arsenal on the near side. Arsenal's left in line with the penalty area. Let's see where this goes now. Into Granit Xhaka and hoofs it forward, looking for Eddie Nketiah. He's held up there by Akanji, but referee says play on Saka now. There's a little bit of space for Martin Ødegaard. He's got Tomiyasu steaming up outside him. Tomiyasu, is he going to whip across? And he is towards Eddie Nketiah. Can't quite get there. It's come across now, though, to Martinelli. Plays it back to Alexander Zinchenko. Played it forward that time from Jorginho, but it's going to go behind for a goal kick to Manchester City. That was another moment there for Eddie. What a great cross that was there from Tomiyasu. Really good play that was from Arsenal. Saka found Ødegaard. Tomiyasu went steaming off outside him, and then he whipped in a lovely cross. Eddie may well have been offside, actually, had he got on the end of it. He couldn't quite make it, and it went behind now for a goal kick to Manchester City. Oh, he was just, a fraction of an inch away there from getting a touch, and that would have surely gone in. Whether it would have stood, I'm not sure. He did look as though he may well have been offside, but anyway, you need to put it in first and worry about it afterwards, don't you? Anyway, it's a free kick now to Arsenal on this near side again, which Zinchenko is going to take. We've got a big 25 minutes coming up here at the Emirates, haven't we? As Arsenal and Manchester City can't be separated. So not so far, but anyway, Man City won the ball back with Jack Grealish over on that far side. He's done well there, Jack Grealish, and then he's fouled by Bukayo Saka, who's claiming he got the ball or that it was just a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. They did come together there. It was a bit of a shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, actually. And I think Bukayo Saka's got a point there. Was that really a foul? I'm not sure if it was. Anyway, it's been given as a foul, and it is going to be a free kick. John says, just checking in, our Arsenal playing. Well, we're playing okay. We're doing okay. We were a bit lucky there. Man City were given a penalty in the second half, but it got overturned because Haaland was offside in the build-up. So we were a bit lucky there. And Man City have got a free kick now on, well, I say the edge of the box. It's about, 20 yards outside the penalty area. 15 yards outside the penalty area, just over on that far side. Man City's left. And Kevin De Bruyne is going to whip this in. By the look of it, this is a dangerous moment for Arsenal. We've had one or two difficulties from set pieces. It's dinked in towards the end of 6 yards. Header comes in. Arsenal don't really clear it away. It's off the line by Jorginho. I think it was Akanji actually was in there for Manchester City there. Arsenal didn't really deal with that set piece particularly well. And it was Jorginho in the right place to deflect that away. It was going in. It was off the line. there was loads of Man City players offside, actually, although the one who headed it probably wasn't. It was Rodri. It wasn't a great finish, actually, from Akanji, you have to say. He didn't really get on holding that at all. And it made it easy for Jorginho. Steve says they're average. Really, I don't think we're playing average. You've got to remember who we're playing against. We're playing against a very, very good team who are pressing. Oh, Zinchenko just giving the ball away. Haaland's in the box. Oh, Ramsdale's done well there. Arsenal making their own problems there. Zinchenko it was, trying to play it out from the back, got caught. The ball was, who was it? It was Bernardo Silva, was it, that won the ball off him? And then he tried to play it into Haaland, got there first, Haaland, but couldn't get the ball past Ramsdale. Arsenal again trying to play it out from the back. We're almost asking for our own problems at the moment, really. Not ideal. We almost just gave away a goal again. We already gave Man City 1 goal tonight. We don't want to give them any more. Now, though, Zinchenko's coming forward, finds Granit Xhaka on this near side. Arsenal with a rare attack in the second half. We haven't really got the ball up this end of the field very much at all since half time, but we have now. And are we going to make it count? Saka now running at that Man City defence. Was he fouled? Referee says no. He just gave the foul against Saka at the other end of the pitch a moment ago, Anthony Taylor, but he wasn't having that. Mark C says time maybe to bring in Tierney for Zinchenko. Yeah, potentially. I'd like to see Trossard come on, actually. Get Trossard on and let's make an attacking change. Let's be brave and let's try and win this game. You know, we haven't had too much attacking threat in the second half, have we? I'd be tempted. Yeah, equally, you don't want to lose, by taking too many risks. But I don't think Trossard is so much of a risk, is he? You know, he's potential. He's got the potential to win us this game, and maybe that's what we need to look at. Anyway, Arsenal in possession at the back now with Gabriel. Plays the ball in to Jorginho. Nice ball forward to Zinchenko. He just pops it off to Martin Ødegaard. Finds Granit Xhaka on this near side. Granit Xhaka plays the ball. Oh, poor ball, actually. He had 2 options there. He had Eddie Nketiah on the left-hand side, and it was it Jorginho running through the centre? 2 options he had. And in the end, he didn't take either. Poor ball. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. Steve says there, bring on someone with pace. We are too slow. Well, I'd like to see Trossard. Would be my option. I'd love to. I love Trossard. I think he's done so well, and it'd be nice to see him have a run in these last 20 minutes. But we'll see if Arteta's going to be brave and try and win this game, or is he going to maybe try and hang on to what we've got? And overall, you have to say a draw wouldn't be a bad result in the way the game's gone overall, really, I suppose. But anyway, let's see what the last 20 minutes brings. We are into the last 20 minutes now. Granit Xhaka plays the ball forward, but it's not a great ball, actually, just as far as Rodri. Akanji plays it back. Now it's headed forward there by Kyle Walker. Now Bernardo Silva plays it through Zinchenko's legs. In fact, gets it back again. Bernardo Silva has the ball through. Haaland's now. He's one-on-one with a run at the box. Plays it square. Oh, massive, got a player over. It's Jack Grealish. And he scored. Jack Grealish has put Man City in front again. And it was a counter-attack from Manchester City there. Some really good play. First of all, on the left-hand side. Looked as though Haaland was going to be in on goal. Instead, he played it square. It was played square again, actually. I think it was Gundogan. Played it square to Grealish over on the far side, the left. He had a lot of space, not quite sure where Tomiyasu was. And Grealish has drilled that in to the far corner. A good finish from Jack Grealish. A Man City lead again. And that is why they win the league so many times, because that is what they can do to you in the blink of an eye. It was good football from Man City, not great from Arsenal. Let's see where Tomiyasu was. Haaland wasn't offside that time. He played the ball square to Gundogan. He got sucked in, Tomiyasu, onto Gundogan. And then Jack Grealish was there. And in fact, it got deflected off Tomiyasu. Not that it made much difference, actually. And I don't think Ramsdale would have saved that anyway. Man City a lead again, 72 minutes played. Mark C says, Gab coughing up possession. Nathan says, poor ball by Gabriel. Saliba did not know whether to come or go. Yeah, exactly. It was. I think that penalty that Gabriel gave away has affected his game because he was pretty good up until then. Herman says, frustration galore. Phil says, fell apart at the back. Yeah, not for the first time recently, unfortunately. Anyway, let's see what Arsenal have got, because we've still got 18 minutes to play, so there's still plenty of time, but we haven't really offered much attacking threat in the second half, have we? And if we're going to get back into this game, we're going to have to offer a lot more at that end of the pitch. Maybe now's the time for Trossard. You haven't really got much to lose now, have we? Gabriel lets the ball bounce. Mark C says, here we go again. Yeah, well, we have to go again. We've got to. Steve says, all over now, City this half. I was just waiting. Yeah, it has been mostly City in the second half. You're absolutely right. And Mark says, yeah, come on, lads. Indeed, yeah, come on. I mean, I still think we can do this. I'm not, but we do need some fresh legs. I saw a comment before. Terry said just before the goal, saying time for some fresh legs. It is time for some fresh legs, and that is what we need. And even more so now we're behind again. We definitely need some fresh legs. Again, we're playing out from the back, and it's not looking. We're looking very, very shaky doing it. Anyway, Saliba now over on that far side finds Tomiyasu, bringing the ball forward, plays out line to the run of Eddie Nketiah. He's done well, actually, Eddie Nketiah there against the Kanji. Finds Bukayo Saka now. It's with Xhaka. Is he going to try a shot, Xhaka? Oh, good defending, actually, by Rodri, you have to say. He slips at first. Looks like it's going to open up for Xhaka, but Rodri recovered really well. That was great defending from him. It looked as if it was going to be a chance for Granit Xhaka. He hasn't scored for a while, has he? He's got 4 goals this season, but none since, October, November time. Anyway, Man City now back in possession again. They look like there was a foul. In fact, there is a foul. The ref's going to call that back. Martin Odegaard it was, who does sometimes do those petulant little fouls, doesn't he, when things aren't going his way. And there is Trossard. Trossard is coming on. Come on, fella. Let's get yourself a goal. Make yourself a hero. And it is Martinelli to go off, the usual substitution. Martinelli did okay tonight. He's not in great form at the minute, is he? But Trossard is on, and he's a player to bring some excitement, isn't he? Is he going to be the player to save it for us tonight? Jack Grealish has gone down injured again, actually, and getting some treatment. And Phil Foden is about to come on for Manchester City. Nathan says, should have hit it with his right. Yeah, well, it's Granit Xhaka you're talking about. He doesn't have much of a right foot, unfortunately. He did think about it, didn't he? And then he fought against it. But great defensive play. It was actually Ruben Diaz, sorry, it was. And Phil says, Trossard for Martinelli again. Yeah, that seems to be the usual substitution. Mark says, just pull the trigger, Xhaka. Yeah, he had the chance, didn't he? He had the chance to pull the trigger and he didn't. Anyway, Phil Foden is coming on for Man City. I'm not sure who's going off, actually. Jack Grealish had just gone down. They're just showing a goal there again. It was, very poor turnover of possession by Gabriel. And then from there, we're always struggling. And Grealish with the finish. And Man City are currently back on top of the Premier League if it stays like this. Mark C says, we've not tested Edison enough with shots from 20, 25 yards. Have a crack, lads. Exactly, we haven't. We haven't had a shot from distance at all, have we? It's Jack Grealish going off for Foden. He's limping off. It's his goal that separates the sides at this moment in time. And Foden's not a bad sub to have on, is he? Let's be honest. And that's just maybe shows a little bit of the difference in the quality of the squads. But anyway, we've just brought Trossard on, and he's a great player. So maybe he's going to have the impact in this game to maybe get us back into this, what would be our first home defeat of the season. Our first home defeat for quite some time, actually, coming up for a year, isn't it? Since was it was it Brighton, the last team to win here in the Premier League? Anyway, that ball played forward there by Man City, headed away by Gabriel. Strange ball by Zinchenko, actually, back to William Saliba, who looks like he's going to play it back to Aaron Ramsdale, and he does. We've tried to play out from the back a lot tonight, especially in this second half, and we've not always done it particularly successfully. Again, we've given the ball away, and it was Rodri there, picked up now. It's Phil Foden with his first touch, finds Nathan Ake, lofts the ball forward up that far side to Kevin De Bruyne. Now it's Foden again on the outside, tries to get across it, it's deflected into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale. You do feel a third goal for Man City would seal the deal for them. Another win for them. We haven't beaten Man City here at the Emirates since 2015. We haven't even got a draw against them since 2016. A 2-2 draw it was on that particular occasion. And, we still could get a 2-2 draw here tonight, couldn't we? Let's be honest. But We need to find something special in the final third. Maybe Trossard's the man. That's a good turn and a good ball. Eddie was caught on his heels a little bit there, and Akanji can shuffle the ball back to goalkeeper Edison, who goes long up that far side, looking for Phil Foden. Good header by William Saliba, who's been good tonight, William Saliba. That ball played up the line. Phil Foden trying to get around Tomiyasu. Good defending, though, from Tomiyasu. Emerson says, looking very nervy second half. Yeah, we keep trying to play out from the back, and it's making it even more nervy because we're not doing it particularly well. Then that's mainly down to Man City pressing us a lot more higher up the pitch. Anyway, Zinchenko's got a bit of space on his near side, plays the ball up the line to Leandro Trossard. His first opportunity to really get forward for Arsenal. Plays the ball back to Granit Xhaka. He tries to ping the ball through. It's actually reached Zinchenko. It comes for Trossard in the area. Surely he's fouled. Referee says no. Trossard just dinked the ball past the defender there. It was flicked on by Zinchenko. It was Kyle Walker, actually. Now, that is the same, exactly the same sort of a foul that the penalty was given for in the first half. He's knocked the ball past him, Trossard, and then Kyle Walker's gone into him. Surely, if the first one's a penalty, that's a penalty. And if the first one isn't a penalty, then that one isn't either. They're both exactly the same foul. Anyway, we got the one in the first half. There's another mistake at the back by Saliba. Oh, he's got away with that. It was a foul, maybe. Looked like Haaland has got the wrong side of Saliba. Haaland saying no. Let's have a look. Did he push him? Yeah, he did have his hand in his back. Yeah, very, very light touch. It has to be said. But Haaland's a big lad. If he touches you, you know you've been touched, I think. Anyway, Man City now are looking very much in control of this game. You have to say they're coming forward again. And Arsenal struggling to really make too much impact in the final third. We're almost into the last 10 minutes. Mark C says that's a penalty. I thought it was. If the first one's a penalty, that's a penalty. It's almost exactly the same foul. He's knocked the ball past the player, and then he's got clumps, hasn't he? So very strange decision that by the referee. And Emerson said didn't look intentional, unlike Edison. No, it probably didn't really look intentional, but he's knocked the ball past him and he's got caught out, and it's a foul. I thought that was a penalty, but anyway, it's not been given, and it's been one of them nights tonight. There's been some strange refereeing. Anyway, Arsenal are making 2 more changes. Ben White is coming on, and Fabio Vieira, neither of which fill me with confidence are going to turn this game around. But anyway, at least we're making some changes, I suppose. It looks like Ben White will just come on to play at right back for Tomiyasu, you would imagine. And Vieira, who's he going to replace? Will it be Jorginho maybe going off? We've played well, Jorginho, but do we need him in the team now? We're trying to chase a goal. I don't know. So it could be a slight change of shape, get Jorginho off and get Fabio Vieira on potentially. Maybe the change that is coming. We'll soon find out. Leandro Trossard is robbed there by Kyle Walker, and now Rodri coming forward. It's Gundogan now plays the ball into Kevin De Bruyne and plays it across to Haaland, and Haaland scored, and that's 3-1, and that seals it with 9 minutes to go. Man City are going to the top of the table tonight. Haaland gets his goal, and again we just couldn't get the ball clear. And Haaland has come up with a goal. And as Phil says, that's it. We've not been up to the task. No, second half, Man City have dominated this game. And Emerson said, and that's that indeed. That is that. We've made too many mistakes in this second half, and Man City have punished us. And that's what the top teams do, unfortunately. We've just come up short again. He took it well, Haaland, but it's his 26th Premier League goal of the season. So, of course, he's going to. You can't give him opportunities like that. Poor defending again from Arsenal, you have to say, all round. We're looking very tired and leggy. It was good play from Man City. De Bruyne there, what a pullback that is. And then 1 touch and 2 touch finish from Haaland. Just that's the difference, isn't it? Look at their centre forward compared to ours. Does Eddie Nketiah score that goal? Absolutely not. And that is why Man City are going to win the league and we are not. And that's simply as simple as that. It wasn't even a great first touch or a great second touch, but that's what he does. He knows where the goal is, and he's not prepared. He's prepared to have a pop in and do that, and that's the difference. Nathan says, clever play by De Bruyne. It was good play from Man City, but I say that's the difference, isn't it? Eddie gets that chance and we don't score, and they do. Mark C says, overdoing it around half again. Yeah, we've been terrible second half of that. Mistake after mistake at the back, and we've continued to keep doing it. Anyway, Odegaard now have a shot deflected. Man City clear that one away. Jorginho is still on for the time. We haven't made those substitutions yet. Oh, it's, yeah, because Ben White's come on. I must have missed that. So Ben White has come on for Tomiyasu. Vieira's on. I'm not sure who Vieira's come on for. Is it Xhaka potentially? Anyway, Vieira now with a cross towards the near post, headed out by Akanji. Trossard, though, in possession for Arsenal, plays it square to Jorginho. I think it was Granit Xhaka that went off. Must have been in the aftermath of that third goal. Fabio Vieira puts a poor cross in. And Steve says, bye, going to bed. Yeah, it's probably a sensible idea, mate. Enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. Speak to you very soon, I'm sure. Herman says, the race towards the end becomes harder and harder, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. No, I mean, we had to get something from this game. Even a draw wouldn't have been bad. But now we've lost it. The momentum swung, and all eyes are on Saturday at Man City, which is going to be a very, very difficult game, isn't it? Phil said, why aren't we just blasting at the goal, still trying to walk it in? Yeah, well, we're trying to walk it in at one end and walk it in at the other end, and it's just not worked, has it? Steve says, a bad 4 weeks. It's been a bad few weeks, yeah. We've just run out of steam. The squad's not deep enough, and we're too rigid, and Arteta's not prepared to be to change things enough, and this is just showing it, really. Odegaard now coming forward for Arsenal, but again, Man City have found an extra level in this second half. Phil says, really need to bounce back at Villa. We do, but that now becomes such a hard game. But Odegaard now have a little chance to cross it. It wasn't a great ball, actually, but Man City scrambled it clear. It was Rodri in the end, managed to get it back. No, it's going to be, Saturday's game is going to be really tough, isn't it? Because, you know, recent results and Villa aren't a bad side. And Unai Emery has got a point to prove against us, hasn't he? Haaland just did really well, actually, over on that far side to keep the ball in. But Arsenal defended that with, 5.5 minutes to play. It is looking as though, barring some incredible finish here, it looks as though Manchester City are going to leave the Emirates with 3 points once again, as they tend to do most seasons. In fact, they have for the last, 5 years in a row, they would have won here. And they're just showing that goal from Haaland again. Touch of his left foot and then a finish with his right into the bottom corner. I mean, what can you say about that? Aaron Ramsdale's face kind of says it all. That is why that's what a player like that can bring you. And then you look at our centre forward. John says, unfortunately, Arsenal have lost their momentum and maybe lack of confidence. Yeah, I think that's some of it. I agree. And I think some of it is we're just not quite that good, not quite as good as we need to be if we're going to beat this Man City side to the title. The squad isn't quite deep enough. Some of the players aren't quite good enough when it matters. And yeah, that's the thing, you know. And we've got big improvements to make if we're going to make that next step. And yes, you know, there'll be people that will say, you know, we're level on points when we have a game in hand. So certainly we're still in the race for the title, but you've got to look at it and say, you know, Man City are much better than us. They are, and over a 38-game season, they're going to show exactly that as well, aren't they? You know, and we've had a good season, and I don't want us to lose momentum, because, you know, it's important that we keep ourselves in that race as long as we can. And, you know, we need to bounce back on Saturday, but Man City make another substitution now. It is going to be Calvin Phillips, of course, the England man, not made the impact at Man City that he would have wanted to with 3 minutes to play. And it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne to depart. It was his first goal that got Man City going in this game. And despite one or two decisions that haven't gone their way or they'll feel that, they've come out on top, and De Bruyne is going off now for Calvin Phillips. Man City just looking to shore that midfield up and not allow Arsenal way back into this game. But we don't look like we're going to get back into this game anyway, to be honest, do we? It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Fabio Vieira plays it forward to Eddie Nketiah, and he plays the ball out there off Kyle Walker. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. Emerson says their City need to drop points. The pressure is getting to our lads. Yeah, I mean, technically, if we was to win every remaining game, we would win the league. But one of those games is away at Man City for a start off. And looking at this game tonight, the cup game the other week, can we beat this Man City team away from home? No, I don't think we can. And I think we're much more likely to drop points than they are, or more points than they are. You've seen that in the last few weeks. Everton, Brentford, this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't beat Villa on Saturday now. The early kickoff as well. Phil said it was nice while we were playing so well. Looked to be a bit gassed out. Yeah, any surprise when we played the same starting 11 pretty much all season. 14 changes before this game, so there's 2. So that's 16 changes all season from the starting 11 in 21 games. That's why they look pegged, because they've played too much football. And Arteta doesn't trust the rest of the squad to be able to do the same job. And we've seen what happens when we make too many changes. Partey's out tonight injured and we've lost again. And that's happened pretty much every game he's missed. Anyway, Arsenal are still coming forward over on that far side. It's going to take, we need to score now if we're going to get a goal back. The header comes in again from Eddie. And again, he's put it wide. And again, he's shown the difference between centre forwards. We saw it against Brentford on Saturday. We've seen it again today. There's so many centre forwards in the Premier League that are better than Eddie, unfortunately. And look at that header there. That's terrible. It's the second one, honestly. I'm sorry. Eddie's a nice guy, right? He's a really nice guy. Arsenal fans are throwing bottles at Kevin De Bruyne as he walks off the pitch. That is not very good at all from Arsenal. The Arsenal fans really, really not good at all. Nathan says not good enough. And Nathan also says they're good movement, but needs to be hitting the target from there. Yeah, that's his problem. He's not good enough. He would not get in any of the top 6 sides in there as a centre forward for any of the other top 6 teams in the Premier League. Absolutely no chance would he, because everyone's got better strikers than him, And as a backup, he's all right, I suppose. But, when he's had to play as many games as he had, I remember saying earlier in the season when we only had him and Jesus, if Jesus is out for a long time and Eddie's got to play 10 games or 12 games, we won't do anything because he's not good enough. Phil says, recall Balogun. Is Balogun any better? I bet you if you stuck Eddie in the French league in a half-decent team, he'd score a few goals. I'm not sure Balogun's necessarily that much better. Yeah, he's a little bit more physical. He may be. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, else coming forward again now. Ben White puts a cross in, but it's far too close to Edison. In fact, it was an offside anyway. Nathan says, I agree. What were the other top 6 strikers? He wouldn't. He'd be sitting on the bench every single other top 6 team, and for us, he's playing every week. And, that's why we're not going to win the league. Anyway. They've just given Kevin De Bruyne a man of the match, actually. I don't know whether that's the right decision or not. I can't really decide. It's been a strange game in many ways. Not one player has been outstanding. Emerson says there, would we win this game with Jesus if he hadn't got injured? Hard to know. It is hard to know. We'll never know. I think we'd have had more chance of winning it. Definitely. We'd have had more chance of winning the last couple of games if Jesus had played. But this is what you need a squad for. Players get injured and you've got to have backups that can come in and do the job you need. And unfortunately, we all knew Eddie wasn't going to be able to do that. He was never going to be able to do that. Our only hope was Jesus only missed 2 or 3 games at the most all season, and then we could have probably coped. But he's missed too many, and he's going to miss a few more. And we've got no one else. And that's the problem. But anyway, this was a problem we knew about before the season started. But yeah, would we have won this game with Jesus? Who knows? We may not have done. We may have lost anyway. But I certainly think we would have offered much more of an attacking threat with Jesus in the team and would have had more of a goal threat. And I know he's not scored that many goals. Anyway, Trossard's I don't know if that was a cross or a shot, actually. It's just gone onto the roof of the net from this near side. I mean, we're into the 5 minutes of stoppage time already, so the result is done. But Trossard there almost got himself I think it was meant to be a cross, actually. And it's almost caught Edison out at the near post. And it's gone over the top and onto the roof of the net. And that is that. We've played 2 minutes of the 5 added on at the end. We've lost this game. Man City are top of the table, and although we have a game in hand, I don't think too many of us now really believe we can win the league. I know there's a long way to go, but you've got to look at the momentum shift. This has been a big result for Man City. They've had their problems this season. They've lost more games than you'd have imagined they were going to lose. They've had 4 defeats in the Premier League already. but when it matters, this is what they do. They've been much better than us tonight overall, over the 90 minutes, especially in the second half. The second half, they've been much better than us. It's almost been men against boys at times in the second half. We've made far too many silly mistakes, and we've just offered not enough of a threat going forward. Zinchenko now on his near side, plays the ball up the line to Fabio Vieira, who's done okay since he's come on, but he's just been robbed of the ball again. And Trossard's just committed a foul on Kyle Walker. And we're into the last 90 seconds of stoppage time. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3. That's how it's going to finish. And Arsenal have been given a lesson in the second half. There's no doubt about that. You know, they're saying it's the master against the apprentice or whatever it is with Pep and Arteta. And quite clearly you've seen tonight that there's a massive gap still between us and them. And it's been the case for a number of years. And as it closed, maybe slightly, but I think we've seen in the second half, this is a very, very good Man City team. Emerson said, didn't Martinelli used to play striker before on the wing? Could play him and play Trossard on the wing. Could be wrong. I know he has played striker. When he first came, he played as a striker, didn't he? When Unai Emery was manager. But Mikel Arteta has had plenty of chances to play him as a striker, and he's never done it, not once. So he's not going to do it, is he? I just don't think he will. But it's an option. Anyway, Man City coming forward again, looking for a fourth goal, which would really rub salt into the wounds, wouldn't it? If they were to get that. Haaland now over on that far side, but Saka does well. We're into the final 30 seconds of normal time. The Man City fans are in a celebratory mood behind that goal. But yeah, he did used to play. He has played as a striker, Martinelli. It's an option, but I'll be amazed if Arteta does that, because he's had so many opportunities to. Why has he played Eddie for the last 10 games when he could have put Martinelli there when he bought Trossard? You know, and he hasn't, has he? So I'll be shocked if he does. Anyway, Man City now still in possession over on that far side with Foden. He's won a corner for Man City as we've now played the 5 minutes of stoppage time. This is just academic now. In fact, it's not even time for the corner. The full-time whistle's gone. It's finished. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3. Once again, Pep has beaten Arteta in the Premier League. He's got 100% record against him in this particular competition. Arteta and Kevin De Bruyne are made up there following a little fallout earlier in the game. But Arsenal will be given a lesson here today in this second half in particular. Man City, it was quite an even game. That they did take the lead. A mistake from Tomiyasu allowed Kevin De Bruyne to chip Man City ahead. And although we didn't really play brilliant football in that first half, we kept at it and we got ourselves level before half-time. It was a penalty, a foul by Edison on Eddie Nketiah. Saka kept his court slightly home. And at half-time at 1-1, you know, we were very much in the game. It could have gone either way, but the second half, Man City really stepped it up. We never really got going. We made far too many mistakes. We were lucky when Man City won a penalty when Gabriel fouled Haaland, but Haaland was just offside in the build-up, so it was overturned. It didn't matter too much in the end because Man City did get the second goal. It was Grealish who put them in front with 18 minutes to play, and 10 minutes later, Haaland rounded it off with a good play from De Bruyne and a clever finish from Haaland. And Man City have walked away with the points, and Man City are top of the league. And now it's looking very, very difficult for us if we're going to overhaul them. And there's nothing to suggest from tonight's game that we're capable of doing that either. Nathan says, poor result, cannot make defensive mistakes against a team like City. Feels like a big moment in the title race. Yeah, it definitely does. Phil says, boy, that was disappointing. So messy at the back. It was awful at the back. Really, really poor. You know, really, really poor. And you can't, as Nathan said, you can't make mistakes like that against anybody, but certainly not against a team like Man City. Did we miss parts in midfield? Potentially, yes. But again, injuries are going to happen, aren't they? It wasn't a great second half from Arsenal at all. It was really, really poor. Zinchenko's had one or two words with some of his former friends, but it is Manchester City that have gone away with the 3 points tonight, and you have to say they fully deserved it as well. Particularly in the second half where they were really, really good and we were really, really poor. Terry says, first time I got a result right in a long time. Well, you almost got it dead right, actually. I mean, none of us were too confident last night, were we? Let's be honest. I mean, we were trying to stay upbeat as we could and maybe try and predict a draw, but deep down, I wasn't confident in this game anyway. We first half we were okay. Second half, no, not really. City were good. Good to see Gabriel Jesus having a chat with Pep there on the side. And Pep just gave him a kiss on the cheek there. But yeah, we've missed him. There's no doubt. And had he been fit, as we talked about before, would it have made a difference tonight? Potentially, it would have done, but we'll never know. It doesn't matter because he's not fit. And you have to go with the players that you've got. I just think maybe a lack of variety is definitely costing us now. And it's now a really, really big game on Saturday against Aston Villa. And if we drop points again there, then you do fear that the slip is not going to be just a small blip, is it? It could well be a lot bigger than that if we don't get a result against Aston Villa at the weekend. But yeah, it's been poor for a few weeks now. It was poor tonight in that second half. Man City showed why the team that they are, showed why they win the trophies that they do, and showed how much we still need to improve if we are going to be able to win these sort of trophies, the big trophies, the Premier League titles and stuff like that. We've got a lot of work to do. But yeah, anyway, it's finished 3-1 to Man City. Nathan said need to regroup, pick up wins until the next City game. We have to try. Yeah, we have to try and get on another run again. We do. It's not going to be easy, of course. It's not. We're on that little run at the minute, and when you get in those moments, it's very difficult, isn't it, to turn it around. It just seems like everything's against you. Mark C says there, Richard Giroud type striker bangs in those 2 Eddie headers. Yeah, but Arteta doesn't want to play like that. He won't pick a player like that. It's not what he wants. It's not how he wants to play football, is it? So it's never going to happen, unfortunately. We're not going to get a player like that. It would be a great option. That's what we need, but it's never going to happen. Mark C says, this is why we need that third striker, offers something different. Yeah, we do, but Arteta doesn't want something different. I've said this all season. Arteta doesn't want a plan B. He just wants to try and get a better plan A. And unfortunately, sometimes you need a plan B, there you go. Terry says, it can't keep starting games with 10 men. No, you're right. And you can't keep starting games with the same starting 11 either, because it's never going to work. But anyway, Nathan says, I'm going to try and get some sleep. Enjoy the commentary. Smash the like button, guys. No, thank you very much, mate. Hope you're feeling better tomorrow. I don't know whether you'll be in work. I'm working from home tomorrow anyway, so I'm not going to be infecting anybody with what I've got left of my of my disease. So hopefully you'll be better tomorrow, mate, and we'll speak soon. Terry says, we've known for three transfer windows that we needed a centre forward. Yeah, we have. But in over 3 years, Arteta's only ever bought one striker, and that's Jesus. And no, he's not bought any other striker. It kind of tells you what you need to know. It's a very, very specialist position with Arteta. He's only going to buy a certain type of player. Herman says there he could have learned from Pep. Well, he's learned some things from Pep, but Pep's obviously not given too many secrets away, has he? Because every time we play them, certainly in the Premier League, they're always much better than us. And they were much better than us today in that second half, wasn't they? They won 3-1. They could have had that penalty. That potentially could have been 4-1. And yeah, it's these. You learn, and I've always said this, you learn more about everybody, the players, the management, everybody, the fans, even when things aren't going well. It's been easy this season because we've been winning games, top of the league, beating everybody. You don't learn much from that, do you? It's when things are going against you. And over the last, 2 or 3 weeks, we've started losing, and we're starting to learn now about this team, and they still haven't. Last season we were in a great position. We blew it. The season before we blew the Europa League, and these are things that we've got a habit of repeating and doing again, and it's happening again this season, and we're going to do it again. And this was always my worry all the way through the season. That's why I was never getting carried away when we were doing well, when we were top of the league. We were 5 points, 6 points clear, whatever we was. Because I always felt as though we had a run like this in us, and I don't think this run's finished. I think we've got more difficult moments to come. And I think Aston Villa on Saturday now is a really, really difficult game. Herman says, smart cookie. He is a very smart cookie, Pep. Absolutely, 100% he is. Mark C says, that's what 400 million buys. Well, I think we could have spent 400 million better in depth of squad. And I still believe that the players that we can buy, the pool is very small, because they've got to fit in with all these things that Arteta needs, because he's not prepared to be flexible at all about anybody. And particularly it seems in the centre forward position, because he's bought one, and that one he bought is one that he knew very well from working with him before. And it's a problem for me. But anyway, what's gone is gone. This is the squad that we've got. This squad's got to get us through the rest of the season. And we've got to... We need to start changing little bits and pieces, whether it's players in the team that start, whether it's slight tactical tweaks. We've got to do something a bit different now, because this isn't working now. And I think teams are figuring us out. And we are running out of legs, running out of steam. And I think that's obvious. In that second half today, we massively ran out of steam, running out of ideas. The players that maybe we could rely on previously in the season to come up with moments to win us games, Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, these sort of players are looking dead on their feet. They're not having any influence anymore on these games. What can you say? That's pretty much where we are. Terry says, I think we lost the league when we played City in the Cup and haven't won since. No, we haven't won since. We did say that, though, didn't we? Sometimes you lose that momentum, don't you? When you lose a cup game like that. And Terry says, big game against Villa. And absolutely, it's a massive game against Villa now. And we said last night, didn't we, on the show, that it was going to be this game was going to influence what happens on Saturday and how we feel about it. And I 100% agree. I think it's going to be a very, very, very tough game against Villa now on Saturday. I really, really do. They are a good side anyway. There's not a massive amount of turnaround Wednesday night to Saturday lunchtime either. We've got that to worry about. And we've got to find a way against Villa. And I'm not confident about that game now at all. If we'd won tonight, if we'd even got a draw, if we'd played a bit better in that second half. Anyway, there's going to be some interviews now with Haaland is first.
City or we, not me, but all the boys and the whole club here is the champion, so you can say so, yeah.
What got you through in the second half in particular, do you think?
Small adjustments in the half-time from Pep, and in the end we are good quality players and we have to get it out, every single player, and this is exactly what we did today.
What were those adjustments by Pep at half-time?
Honestly, I don't remember. I'm so happy. I don't remember now.
Was there an element tonight as well of City being streetwise? Did the team show its experience at key moments?
Yeah, I think so. For me, we have to play a little bit more like this sometimes, and that's exactly what we did today. And I'm so proud today. I have to say, I'm so proud of every single guy here, and I'm so happy to be here.
Was there a need as well to be physical, particularly at times as well when Arsenal showed the fight that they showed?
Yeah, of course. It's we can all agree on that. It's been the best the team this season. So to come at their place and to play against them is not easy. But we played an amazing game, and we got the 3 really important points, and we're in it again.
Listen, I know you've gone 3 games without a goal. So to score tonight, what did that mean as well? Just to get that name on the score sheet again.
Yeah, I mean, that's my life, and now it's already gone. I think 20 minutes since I last got the goal, so I'm already in it again. So I have to keep working.
Well, listen, Sergio Aguero's top scorer in the City season with 26. You've matched that tonight. 15 games to beat it.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Sum up what this means overall to the group, because we saw how happy you were coming in.
So, yeah, I mean, what can you say about that? I mean, he's laughing about it, Haaland. I suppose you can't really blame him. Mark C says, let's see who has character in the squad. Yeah, that's what it's about, though, isn't it? It's about character. And, if we can if we can turn this around quickly, get back on a winning run again, who knows? We may be able to turn it around. It just doesn't look very likely at the minute, does it? Terry says they're spot on, Mark. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Nothing's like stood out for me tonight to say that we've got that about us. You know, looking at the last 2 or 3 seasons as well, we've been in good positions in certain areas and we've blown it, and we look as though that's happening again now, and that's a worry, isn't it? You know, despite, as Mark says, £400 million, and we still aren't able to compete against Man City on the night and over a season by the look of it. But you know, it's disappointing tonight. It's been a good season so far, but I've always said this. You know, we hadn't achieved anything yet this season. You know, we had a good start. 50 points at halfway stage is fantastic. But here we are 3 games later with 51 points. And, you know, I'm not surprised because I always felt that we were in a run where we could be the team that would go on a poor run out of us and Man City. We were much more likely to do that. And that's exactly where we are now. But, you know, there's plenty of time left. We can turn it around, but my fear is it's going to run away from us now very quickly. And, you know, if we lose on Saturday, Man City win, then suddenly it's really slipping away quick, isn't it? Terry says, the way we're going, it could be out of City and United for the title. Well, I mean, United will probably be reasonably happy tonight, won't they? I suppose. I don't know, really. Maybe a draw would have maybe suited them, although they were cheering for City, wasn't they, to win, surprisingly, but I don't know. Phil says, oh God, I hope not, Terry, after all the stuff Neville has been banging on about. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I know it's different circumstances now, but I can remember a few seasons under Arsene Wenger where we were top of the league in January, February, and it quickly fell away. And I see similarities now with what the team we've got now and how it's going. So, you know, most of them seasons we did manage to hang on to the top 4, and we've certainly got enough points on the board, not really to worry too much about the top 4 necessarily. But I think the title's gone, I've got to be honest. Herman said, seldom did Arsenal get the players they needed because they waited too long and other teams picked those away. Right, man. No, did we want some of them players? Because I don't really want them. Phil says that United don't have real fans. Well, no, they don't really. But anyway, yeah, it's been very, very disappointing tonight. In the end, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm 100% surprised. I was very worried about this game, but it's how we react now to this poor run. That's 4 games now without a win, 3 defeats in those games as well. And let's be honest, we could easily have lost to Brentford as well, with chances that they had. You know, defensively, we're looking all over the place. We're not scoring enough goals in those 4 games. We've only scored 2 goals, and one of them was a penalty. So only 1 goal from open play. So yeah, we need to find some answers, don't we, quickly, because it could all slip away very, very quickly. And yeah, you're right, Terry. You know, Man United are picking up points, aren't they? And they're not massively far behind us. Let's be honest, they're not. So yeah, let's see what happens on Saturday now. Such an important game, and we have to get it right. We have to bounce back, and we have to win that game. That's all we can do. And let's hope that we do. But I'm not feeling confident at the moment. So. Anyway, that is all for tonight. Thank you very much for everyone for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the show, even if not the result in the end. Unbeaten home record has come to an end. And yeah, very, very poor. It did finish Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3. Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland for City, as Bukayo Saka penalty in between all that for Arsenal briefly brought us level, but not really good enough. And we dropped down to 2nd. Level on points with a game in hand, though, but I don't think too many of us are that confident, are we, that we are going to end up toppling this Manchester City team, who are very, very good. In fact, I think Pep is going to be speaking. Let's just hang on and let's just listen to what Pep has to say for himself. I think he's just about to be interviewed on pitch side.
Good to see you again. Congratulations on the win. Well done. Very good. Handshakes all round. Alan Shearer's just called that a big win, a big performance, and a big message that you sent out for Arsenal. Do you agree?
I should just win. They are okay. Now we are top of the league, but they have one game in hand. So it's long road. Winning or losing, you have a lot of games still to play. But of course, come here winning against that team. The first half they were much better than us. Second half we were much better. Second in the half time, so we cannot play without you're not playing. Just it was defending. It's because they are so good, but we should be more active. And the second half was excellent.
What frustrated you particularly in that first half then?
My tactics.
What way?
Because I decided something new and it was horrible. Second half we were more like we are.
What in particular was horrible about it?
We let them play a build up. The way our shape, we let them play. When you let them play with Jorginho, Xhaka, with Alex, they found the players behind, especially Odegaard and the other one, the runners outside. So in the second half, in half time, we adjusted a little bit. Ruben was really good, going more aggressive to Odegaard, and we control more the balls. We play more, and Erling helped us a lot because we 1-against-1. We had to play more long balls, and he used his power to keep the ball enough to do it. But in the first half, they had one more man in the middle. We struggled a lot to control them. That's why we suffered, and they were much better. But the second half, we were there.
Pep, was there a concern at half-time with Bernardo Silva on a yellow card? Was there ever a thought to say?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But Bernardo's so intelligent, and he knows exactly what he doesn't lose his.
We were having the discussion whether you thought you were going to push him further into the middle and then bring a left back on and do it. It'd be very hard.
I mean, that's enough of Pep, actually. He's doing me head in. But I mean, fair play to him. I mean, you know, he's admitted he got it wrong. But you see, the difference with Pep and Arteta, although there's a lot of similarities, Pep made a gamble. He took a gamble in that first half. He said he'd try something different. It didn't work, so he changed it. Arteta hasn't even got the courage to try something different. Maybe because he doesn't know how to. And that's something he needs to learn from Pep. You know, he's learned a lot from Pep, clearly. And that's something he does need to learn from him, doesn't he? I'm not saying that, you know, he needs to do some stupid tactical decisions that maybe Pep made tonight at the beginning, but ultimately you've got to be able to be brave and make some of those decisions. And that is why Pep is as successful as he is, because he does that. And most of the time it pays off. And on the odd occasion that it doesn't, he learns from it and changes it in the game, and that's what he did, and that's why he's a great manager, and that's why they win what they win. Herman says, thanks Rich for detailed podcast. I'm looking forward to a glimmer of hope. Well, I'm sure there'll be a glimmer of hope. It's a hope that kills you though, Herman, unfortunately. Terry says, great to see you on the men, Richard. Shame Arsenal haven't helped at all, but take care, see you soon. Hang in there, all in the chat. Hopefully things can only get better. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're joint top of the table on points, so let's not get carried away. But, you know, I think we're all desperate for us to win something big, and we're not going to get probably too many opportunities when you look at the financial situation at other clubs. And tonight was a lesson for us all, maybe. This is where we are. This is how far off we are where we want to be, and you know, but you know, let's put that behind us now. It's done. Let's focus on Saturday. I'll be back on Saturday for the watch along. Aston Villa against Arsenal with the early kickoff, which I hate. I'll have to rush back from playing football and to make it, but I'll hopefully I'll be live by sort of 20 past 12 for the 12:30 kickoff. So join me for that if you can. Let's see how Arsenal recover, because that's all we can do now, isn't it? Recover from these poor results in the last few weeks, and hopefully we can, you know, keep putting some pressure on Man City, because who knows, if we keep ourselves there and thereabouts, they might crack in the end. Who knows? And it might be us that come through, but I don't think too many of us really expect that, do we? But anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. Unfortunately, the result didn't go how we wanted it to, but we move on to Saturday. Join me for that, for the watch along, and then next week we will move on to obviously the review show on Monday. One or two other bits and pieces. Hopefully Melvin can bring us Highbury Matters, because that always cheers us up. The great show that he does. And says, I fully agree with you. It's, yeah, well, there you go. It is a hope that kills you, mate. But anyway, we'll see. Yes, I say join us very soon. So Saturday, particularly for the Aston Villa game, where we've got to bounce back. We've got to get a result there. Quite simply, if we don't win that game, then you fear where it's all going to unravel quite quickly, isn't it? If it isn't already. So, yeah, disappointing tonight. Man City were too good for us in the end. Far too good. It finished Arsenal 1, Man City 3. I will see you Saturday. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week if you can. And come on, you Gunners. Let's bounce back on Saturday. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you soon, guys.
Real Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That's the